Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes.
Ember! And some Jenni Morgan person. We really need to do something about that person.
Delilah, I said, get the children out of here.
So it's Beatles Day.
Oh, so it's going to be like
Global Beatles Day.
it's going to be kind of a difficult show, a hard day's night, so to speak.
Yep. Well, help! I need somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I have never taken hard drugs, but I have wanted to try LSD just once, so I could watch The Yellow Submarine in the same frame of mind it was written in.
And the song "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds" is totally not about LSD.
Oh no, not at all. No. Well, I'm not going to talk about drugs, but take it twice. The first time you just do it to experience it. The second time you start taking an input that you don't have control over.
Oh, so you mean it makes you autistic?
No, it can drag some people to the edge of sanity.
Yeah.
And push them over the edge in some cases.
Yeah,
it's rare, but it happens. It's called unmasking.
That's actually a big part of how I describe my autism. Is that, people with a normal brain have filters that tell them what things they need to pay attention to and what they can ignore. I don't have those filters, so I can't ignore anything. I am hearing everything that is happening.
Yeah, we need to stop having people will go over the edge and become sane.
One of the Beatles songs that I did not get until recently was realizing the song Blackbird was actually written about a black girl that one of them had a crush on.
No, it was written about a black girl who was discovering herself as an individual away from the racist trauma that she suffered in the South in America. I don't know if there was a crush involved or not.
Yeah. They put out so many songs.
I had such a wonderful day yesterday.
Oh, what?
Oh gosh, I washed all of my delicates by hand. It was just so rewarding. All my stockings, and now they look like they're brand new and fresh.
Yeah, but now that you've washed them, you can't sell your undies.
Oh no, I didn't wash those. Those are still in a bag ripening.
Hi, Molly.
Let's see. Yeah, who we got here? Molly and Ember. Hi, Ember.
Porpoise. We have Porpoise.
We have Porpoise.
The Porp is here.
Although I did send Ember a link on Discord, but she may be driving.
That was weird.
Good afternoon, Porp. How you doing?
I'm not just a porpoise. I'm the sinister porpoise.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry. I neglected that.
Look what else we've got.
We've got a very stable milking stool.
Oh,
stool!
It's been ages.
Stool. I always wondered. I don't think I've ever asked you. Are you aware that I don't know if it's true in the UK, but here in America, that stool is also another word for defecation?
Well, he's gotten the joke on it plenty of times. Yeah.
Should we talk about that video I came across just before the show of people deifying chatbots and AI?
What actually is the topic of this show?
Beatles.
Well, it's Global Beatles Day.
The band that changed the world.
The band or the insect?
The band.
There's an A in it, so it must be the band.
Who's on second? Who's on first?
That's why I said Beatles instead of Beatles. One spelled with an A, one spelled with two E's.
Yeah, except they just call it Beatles.
I know.
We're allowed to have those kinds of confusing words in English.
And one of the best Powerpuff Girls episodes was called The Beatles,
Yeah, that was a good one episode.
where almost every line was just a reference to a Beatles song.
That's my dominatrix's motto. Beat all.
I mean, you have a dominatrix, or
Well, duh, doesn't everybody?
I just thought that. I mean, I would see that more being a career choice for you than something you'd have. But
Well, I got to learn somehow. It's not like you can go to Yale and take dominatrix lessons. Harvard, yes, and Yale, no.
speaking of Harvard, I hear Meg is boycotting them. Do you wonder how much money Harvard is saving by not having to process applications from people who wonder how many E's there are in Harvard? Sorry.
Well, just don't ever reject Barron Trump, or you're going to get treated the same way as Harvard.
Well, I think the American people haven't rejected Barron Trump because he isn't running for anything. Most of us have ejected his. I can't talk today. Rejected his father, his cabinet.
I mean, shouldn't ICE be hunting down Melania and Barron?
Well, I do know people keep reporting Melania to the immigrant line. It was even funnier when they were doing it to Musk. It's almost like they're not going to get useful information. People are just, when they keep opening these stupid hotlines, people are going to fill them with false information.
Now, did Trump's parents come here illegally? Because if so, we can deport him too, can't we?
Not if he was born in this country.
That doesn't seem to matter right now.
No, Trump's very much ignoring that part. In fact, there was a recent thing where they sent ICE agents who busted up a first grader's classroom to pull a couple of kids out of there.
Isn't that horrible? I mean, how bad can you get?
Well, first off, I don't think elementary school graduation should be a thing, but that's a different story. It's like, come on. I think that was a trial balloon. That was in Los Angeles, wasn't it?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't remember which city that was.
Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. I'm dumb.
Nope. Okay, so Fred Trump was born in the Bronx in New York City, but his grandparents were from Germany.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I'm not sure how much longer Trump can hide his dementia.
He's been hiding it?
Well, when you start from a low bar to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard.
I thought he was getting questionable in his first term in office.
I mean, he's never been what you would call, he's not stupid, but he's not what you would call exceptionally bright.
Yeah, well, just some of the speeches he made in his first term in office just really made no sense.
He bothers me because he is just so absolutely crude. He is so unsophisticated and so much of a dullard. It's just embarrassing to have him in our government on any level, much less president.
Yeah,
but he's like a smart person.
He's a stupid person's idea of a smart person, a poor man's idea of a rich man.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody remembered that quote from him.
And a fascist idea of a good president.
No, what was the quote again? What, Mage?
I'm like a smart person.
Oh yeah, okay, sure, Donnie, whatever you say.
And remember, only one person has ever called Donald Trump a very stable genius.
Yeah, the problem is that he's he's threatened the media to the point where if they don't play along with his game, he cuts them off from hearing
Mm.
his talks. So
Yeah, but that's hardly a punishment. It's like First of all, Baghdad Barbie is one of the dumbest persons ever to be put in that role. I'm sorry, what's her name? Carolyn Levitt.
Oh, jeez. Bible Baghdad, Carolyn.
Well, even the puppy killer has come out and questioned Trump's sanity at this point.
Okay, now please, puppy killer is absolutely appropriate, but her true name is equally important, and that is Krusty with a K, Gnome Nothing with a K.
Listen, it's okay to refer to her by her proper title, Secretary Puppy Murderer.
Wait, Krusty with a K?
Uh-huh.
Is that where she got her money from? Is she the heir to the Krusty Burger franchise?
No, she's far below that. Krusty Gnome Nothing, America's favorite cosplayer.
You know, I have to wonder if there's going to be like some... Because eventually, I don't think Donald Trump's going to get the third term despite what he wants, because everyone, even his own followers, are against it now.
Well, yeah, since he's been arresting his followers' spouses, they've kind of soured on him.
They'll do it.
However, he is dictator, and he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
No.
They're also
Not quite.
upset because they can't afford groceries, which was his big promise for this last campaign.
Yeah, right in between the bombs. I love the fact that that some White House person or intelligence person leaked the report that said all of his perfect, totally devastated nuclear bombings, runs, and attacks, and it's just totally destroyed. Except the intelligence report says at best we slowed him down by a couple of months.
Listen, he was just trying to get everyone to stop calling him Taco, which is just not going to happen.
Nope, he's Taco forever.
And
And the Iranians are saying, do you want to see our centrifuges?
Well, they weren't building a bomb to begin with, but now they probably will.
Yeah. They have bombed a couple of U.S. air bases in the Middle East now.
I mean, I doubt our air bases were that damaged, but it's like we didn't belong in that conflict to begin with, and
yeah,
we had to deal with it. We had to deal with it. Trump ripped that deal up and complained about why aren't they following the deal. Well, and then he goes into this whole war illegally. By the way, so we don't have constitute we don't have Congress is backing it. So
that would be Article 1 of the Constitution.
There's some weird copy.
I'm rolling something up. That would be Article 1 of the Constitution that gives war powers to the Congress. However, let us also recognize that Clinton, Obama, George Bush, 1 and 2, all declared wars. Didn't declare wars, but
effectively got us into
war
wars. Yeah,
powers without congressional approval.
Yeah, that's true. They
no,
wasn't officially. They weren't officially declared wars, so they kind of got around it.
It goes back to Nixon. They weren't wars; they were police actions.
Let me. No, that was Vietnam. Let me correct myself there. George Bush II did get the Congress to declare action against Afghanistan. It was Iraq that they just kind of like added in.
Yeah, and along with about half a dozen other places.
Yeah.
They're wrong.
Look, if there's a country I don't know where it is, we ought to bomb it. Which I think for Trump would mean that he probably knows where Canada and Mexico are and the rest of the world. Yeah.
That's questionable.
I don't put bets on him knowing where Mexico was.
I've seen plenty of
Mexico was somewhere near Texas.
And Canada, he didn't know until last week.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've seen plenty of MAGAs that don't seem to know where these places are. So,
what was that announcement about? What was that announcement about 3 Mexican countries?
North Mexico, West Mexico, and South Mexico. East Mexico's still fine, probably.
Oh, hi, Ember.
Hello.
Mexico sunk into the Gulf of
You're
America.
sounding good today, Ember.
It's so nice to have you here.
I love
Thank
that
you.
I love that the Gulf of America has taken on absolutely no weight whatsoever. It's like,
No, even the U.S. military's own maps are still showing Gulf of Mexico. Like, no
Well,
one
yeah.
cares except Trump.
Oh, the only Gulf
because
of
if the
America.
U.S. military has to share intelligence with any other country, they have to call it the Gulf of Mexico.
The only Gulf of America is between Trump's ears.
That's what I was gonna say.
Haha, I got you.
I
I
mean-
got you first.
no one even cared what the body of water's name was, and you can't change the name of a body of water internationally by executive order anyway.
Yeah.
It's biologically called that. It was born that way or something.
Did somebody actually say that? It's biological.
I've heard a lot of people make that joke, but I mean, you never know with the red hat. I swear they're bots. They are all bots. Like, even the ones who live and breathe, their brains have been reprogrammed with the shit the bots say, so they may as well be bots.
Yeah.
Bebop,
Well, you know, they're a
bebop,
lot like
bebop,
parrots that
badoo,
they can
yep,
repeat
yep.
things they heard. They can't really, get their actual thoughts.
Let's see here.
And we have my unfinished sock.
Journey,
So
are you testing to see if someone will mod your sock or if your sock is a mod?
Oh, I was thinking my unfinished sock was just a newbie knitter.
I mean, maybe that too.
What?
What's going on there, Jenny?
I made an error and failed to upload something I wanted to upload.
I hate
Oh,
when
well.
So I'm correcting that error at this moment.
Ah,
If I
So a
can-
picture you wanted us to share?
If I goddamn find it. Yeah, this is actually be the perfect moment for it. There it is. Here it comes. Poof.
Whoa,
Got it.
here she comes.
It's the latest one I put in. It's
She'll chew
perfect.
you up.
here
It's
she comes.
perfect
Well,
for the discussion.
well, we now have a sock, so come away.
I'm guessing my unfinished sock is the sock of my unfinished journey.
Exactly. That's the joke. Although not their only sock, Journey also has finished socks as well. Hi,
Do they have
Patty.
Swedish socks? Or only
It's apostate sister number
Hi.
one because you're the oldest one. So
No, I think Patty's the younger one. I may be backwards.
oh,
I may be a terrible fan, but I think Nancy's the older one.
I wanted to see their show for the first time, and I even put it on my calendar, and I still slept through it. I'm so sorry, Patty. I genuinely, humbly apologize. I'm so embarrassed.
Well,
No,
Jenny, the videos are available to watch after the live is done.
No, I want live. It's just not the same.
Oh, Patty is older. I suck
Yep,
at my job.
I remembered them. I remembered her saying in one of her recent shows that she is 2 years older than Nancy.
Some shows just don't work well as like.
Oh,
rewatch.
she looks much older than 2 years. Oh, I'm sorry.
Like if they're designed to be a live show to rewatch, it just doesn't feel good to rewatch.
I'm just kidding, Patty.
Yep.
Go ahead. You can say
Speaking
something
of
nasty at
rewatching
me.
shows, just before we got on here, Mage, I was listening to your show.
Yeah.
Did you show the picture I uploaded, the last one of the group?
Please, you didn't.
No, we didn't bring any up yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Somebody took a video of some Gestapo stormtroopers who were attempting to invade a Home Depot to start arresting people.
Oh,
Mhm.
good.
And I don't know if it was the manager or who it was, but somebody stood at the door and said, "You are not welcome in here. Turn around and go away."
I understand it.
And in the video that somebody made of the incident, they caught the license plates of 2 of the SUVs that these scumballs are using. And I cropped them and put the license numbers up on the web for people to identify.
I was in
There
the
we
middle of
go.
something else. And I still beat Purple to it.
I don't want to set the world on fire.
Oh, I gave up Mage. I was just letting you do it because you always beat me to it.
Here's the success of the Trump administration and megas.
Yep.
I just want to start a flame.
Appropriate song.
I think the only reason, that song was never intended to be associated with nuclear war.
Well, neither was Nagasaki or Hiroshima, but too soon.
Well, I mean, somebody intended it.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
It's a little bit different when things happen in real history, and another thing happens just because a video game that takes place after a nuclear apocalypse chooses that as its theme song.
I was just going to try and drag us back to the topic and ask people, why do you think there are some people who refer to the Beatles as the band who changed the world? Why do you think that's true for some folks? Yes, people do say that. I say that.
I mean, they gave us their legacy basis, which actually did change the world. So I guess precursor world changer status or something. I
think it was their overall social influence that speaks to when I think of that phrase. They changed how we dress. They changed how we listen to music. They changed how we behave at concerts. They changed the Soviet Union. I mean, they were allowed to put a concert on in Russia, the Soviet Union at the time, and it changed the people there. They began being willing to and desiring of protesting and all sorts. This is all young people, of course, and started giving the government hell. It was, an infancy step towards the end of the Soviet Union. It took another 30 years, but that kind of social change takes that long.
Social changes take generations, not years or decades.
Well, no, we're not talking social change as much as our political change, and that can happen overnight, as it has in our country.
Well, I mean, these things were always there, and I think ultimately Trump's going to fail because this is the dying last gasp. Oh.
Yeah.
He's been around for, 72 days now?
I meant of the movement, not of Trump.
No, not more than 72 days. Whatever it is.
He's been around for 78 years.
No, as our fearless Führer.
That's our Trumpen Führer.
Yeah, he passed the 100-day mark a little while ago. He might be closing in on 150 now, but I think he's still a little short of that.
Yeah, I think it was close to 150.
And he's still fallen short of what he wanted to do. So.
And President Trump, what have you accomplished in your first 100 years?
Days.
I have created the perfect dictatorship.
No, he hasn't.
Remember, everything he thinks is perfect.
They're going back to what he accomplished in his first term, and he completed 8% of the wall between the U.S. and Canada.
Well, he did 2 things during his first term which weren't terrible. Like, corporate tax rates did need to be lowered, but we still need to tax billionaires. And Operation Warp Speed, and of course, Kanye helped with some actually decent prison reforms. I can't believe I just said those things, but those things happened during the first Trump administration.
Corporate income tax rates needed to drop?
Yes, corporate tax.
Really?
Yes, because we had the highest in the world.
Sweetie, in
the 50s, not confuse corporate tax rates with taxing billionaires.
I'm not. Corporate tax rates were in the 90th percentile in the 50s. The most productive, highest growth of our history.
We had the highest corporate tax rate of any country in the world.
Yeah.
Yes, and it needs to go back up where it was.
Well, a lot of the growth in the 1950s had to do with because we were the only industrialized nation that had all of our factories bombed in World War II. So part of that was artificial.
No, it wasn't. It was real. It actually happened. We have the
Yes.
things that we gained. It's not.
Yes,
That's
but
not fake.
no,
I don't care what the rest of the world was up to.
Part of the growth was artificial. We had
No,
faster
it wasn't.
growth. We had faster growth because other countries were unable to produce a lot of heavy stuff.
We had faster growth because we spent money on ourselves to improve our infrastructure, to improve our education, to improve everything in this nation. We did that for ourselves. It wasn't artificial in any stretch of the imagination.
I think what you were missing is a lot of corporations aren't the big corporations. We need to tax billionaires. That's not in question. But like your local mom and pop store organized as a corporation to solve tax for limited liability doesn't need to be taxed at 90%.
Explain to me. Okay, look up and tell me how much tax General Electric paid last year.
All right, you're missing the point.
And this makes me crazy too. I mean, I hate the parade. I hate Trump. Machines squeak. Big brutish machines like this squeak. It's what they do.
I just appreciate his contribution to participating in pride parades. It's just a shame he couldn't get the flags up in time.
Hey, I was actually at a pride event that day. But honestly, I think the squeakiest tanks were chosen deliberately. I think
as of No Kings protest.
That is a World War II Sherman tank. It's 80 fucking years old. It's gonna squeak.
Yeah.
It's what they do.
Of course, did you hear one of Trump's biggest complaints about the parade? He was upset that the soldiers were smiling and waving at the people in the stands because he thought the soldiers were supposed to be out there looking menacing.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that either.
I mean, well...
Yeah, he had a tweet about it on Truth Social.
He woke up from his nap and they told him, then he was mad about it.
This entire parade was an exercise in malicious compliance, I think.
Okay, what's each of you's favorite Beatles song?
I want to hold your hand.
Last Train to Clarksville.
That's Monkeys, not Beatles.
She was just 17 because I sang it to my wife at karaoke.
I hear a desk. Hail Bigfoot.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. I did karaoke one time, and I sang a Beatles song to my wife.
My favorite was A Day in the Life.
That was my retort when I came into homeroom one morning, and my eyes were kind of red, and I was joking, and the teacher said, "What did you do this morning?" And I said, "I woke up, fell out of bed, dragged a comb across my head."
Excellent. I know how many holes fill Albert Hall. The Albert Hall.
How many holes?
Yeah.
What?
That is an odd thing to say about a building.
All right, I'm going to have to go to Genius to quote it exactly. If you'll give me just a moment or three, I'll dig it up.
Yep.
One
of the ones I remember the best is Strawberry Fields Forever.
That played on the radio a lot.
I prefer Raspberries.
Fruits, but
there we are. Okay, now I have to.
Hey, Stool, we've got your camera now, but you're still quiet.
That's because he's muted.
I've broken everything.
Oh, we could hear you there. You're kind of quiet, but we could hear you.
I've broken the world.
Well,
oh, it's your fault. We thought it was Trump who did that.
Don't make me put the headphones on.
No, it was... Dr. Kip and I have been trying to trace back exactly where the hell we diverged onto the wrong timeline. We know it was somewhere before 2016, Rip Harambe. so far our working hypothesis is it's the fact that Wild Stallions has not, in fact, made everything totally righteous.
Yes, they did. You see Tipple's head.
Okay, I got it. I'll do the whole verse since it's fairly short. I read the news today. Oh boy, 4,000 holes in Blackburn, Lancashire. And though the holes were rather small, they had to count them all. Now they know how many holes it takes to fill the Albert Hall.
Well, I think maybe Trump sometime in the past got a hold of a sports almanac.
Well, I'm glad it's not supposed to be severe today like it was last week.
Trump is Biff.
Yeah, in fact, that future Biff was actually based on Trump.
I don't know. Maybe Rick Sanchez came and took us all to the worst timeline.
Damn it, Rick.
Yeah, that whole dystopian thing with the Virgin, that was actually based on Trump. That version of Biff.
Or
Yeah,
maybe
I can see that.
Oh, hey, we got a special guest out there in the chat. Hey, God, what you up to?
Yeah, we got God.
Did you ever plug those holes in Jesus' feet so he can walk on the water again?
Are you an AI? Because I was watching a video about how AI has actually become God.
Oh, what? Oh, God, I hate those idiots.
Yeah, the media's got a hold of AI, so now it's all going to get fucked up.
Depends which ones you watch, Mage. They've got ones out too that AI is demons. So
Yeah.
It's all demons.
And hello,
it's always
Tori.
demons.
It's true.
I
Demons.
thought
are
it was
doing things.
aliens.
Ghosts in the machine. Holy
Well,
ghosts.
aliens are demons.
Oh yeah,
Or-
yep. There's that too. These language models are actually a means of aliens to communicate with us.
Okay. I make a distinction, but I know it's just because of the way other people define things. But generally, you say aliens, I think of creatures from another planet.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
when you say demons, I think of creatures from a different dimension.
When you say demons, I think of Republican Nazis.
Well, you have to think in the Christian mindset, though, Purple, because they don't think life is anywhere else but on Earth. So anything else has to be from a spiritual realm.
So
what about
with
all
the aliens have to be demons.
Well,
have-
life on Earth is theoretical too.
I have heard that the argument that all the aliens are demons. So
all right, so I'm the only person here when they hear the word demons thinks of like Linux background programs.
probably.
You're probably the only person here who knows anything about Linux.
You have the mailer demons that keep bouncing
Mailer
back my emails.
I'm old enough to remember Smurfs being demons.
They're still
Be-
demons.
Because they're blue, and that's like dead people. So
Well,
Smurfs
they
are demons because they're blue.
the Jehovah's Witnesses actually have lore about that during one of their church services, depending which version of the story you hear, it was either a Smurf doll or it was a Smurf that jumped off the page of a coloring book and swore at them and stomped out of the hall.
I want to know what kind of drugs they're on.
Better ones than I can afford.
Honestly, I think the Jehovah's Witnesses do allow more drugs than the Mormons do, which isn't a lot, but
I just brought up near-death experiences the other night. It's like, yeah, you know what's associated with most near-death experiences? A lot of drugs. And I'm not saying they're drug addicts. I'm saying they're usually very ill and being pumped full of drugs, or they're trying to resuscitate them and they're being pumped full of a lot of drugs.
Also,
and, yeah, you probably have a good trip.
Yeah, actually,
or a bad one.
Yeah, also, our bodies will naturally flood our systems with drugs apparently when we're near death.
Yeah, our brain floods us with our own drugs too. Yep, so lots of drugs.
Apostate, you wouldn't enjoy them now because even when I watch them now, I have to cheer for Gargamel.
I mean, our system is biochemical in nature. It's already swimming with lots of naturally produced drugs.
Apostate, I never watched the Smurfs because I watched it like once or twice and then realized that there was only one woman involved. So what's the point of watching that crap?
What a sausage fest, huh?
I thought Gargamel was cool.
Show.
What was that? What was the woman Smurf's name?
Smurfette was
Smurfette.
created by Gargamel.
Smurfette. That's right, Smurfette.
Because apparently there are no natural female Smurfs.
Why are all
That's
the
right.
why are all the
Trans programming.
why are all the Smurfs blue? Because Smurfette didn't charge very much.
No, I would imagine that the old Smurfs are blue because she charges too much.
I mean, is this like me knowing that intercourse is 8 miles from Blue Ball?
Okay.
That's actually true. You can look that up.
It is.
It's I'm sure the cashiers in Pennsylvania have gotten tired of those questions and comments and jokes, but it never gets fucking old.
Not sure how far either is from Bird in Hand, but
No. God, I did not accuse you of being Chat GPT. I recognize you as the one and true God. I'm sorry. That was purple.
I mean, it's the
That was
only
me.
God that's ever manifested. He even sent me a super chat the first time he showed up. I was like, I have to believe in this creature. There it is. The best evidence I've ever seen. You know?
That's definitely good evidence.
Yeah.
I've had God and Satan himself show up on Saturday night at the Atheist, so always good when they drop by. Appreciate the support.
See, they always hang out. They always hang out in
Stool
my
is
bedroom.
turned into a Smurf.
I was gonna say one of my favorite exchanges on Twitter was like after Jerry or when some televangelist died, and God's like, "Your father's in hell," and Satan just response, "Can confirm."
Still looking blue there. I guess he just needs to get smurfed.
Yeah, Jenny,
Yeah.
most people have an angel on one shoulder and a demon on the other shoulder, but they realized that you needed the industrial strength ones. That's why you have God and Satan in your bedroom.
Giggity.
Well,
That sounds like a fun evening.
well, it's kind of nice because I never run out of wine.
Not if you're asexual.
Oh.
What are you gonna do?
Garlic bread for everyone.
Garlic
Sounds
bread
good to me.
rosé.
I mean, at least between the two of them, they should have a really good cake.
When you make it on the grill, it is delicious. Got that little smoky flavor. Oh my goodness. Best garlic bread ever.
Damn it, now I'm hungry. Fuck. This is why I can't lose weight. Every fucking show I go to, you assholes are talking about food all the time.
Well, I mean, I haven't been that hungry, but it is getting close to dinner time, and I probably will make food here shortly. But
I was at the grocery store this morning and I bought a little pint of Italian ice lemon.
so, is anyone going to go to the next No King's Day protest on July 4th?
Garlic bread is better than sex. However, Stool, if it's narrow enough, you can use it for sex. Well,
I'm doing my duty July 6th. I'm going to the ARC protest.
Yep.
So I'm going to be there with my sign and my shirt and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I am planning to be there and going to pick up Sinister Porpoise on the way.
But
I also
awesome.
shall be traveling.
Looking forward to seeing you there.
And
I would love to go, but I did my numbers and I can't. I had a sudden expense of $200 that I couldn't avoid.
The only thing is, you probably won't be taking my van because it's acting weird. Which is not a bad thing. I mean, honestly, my van's been.
I learned something else this week since we last met. If you're filling out like the pre-appointment forms for your doctor and you mention suicide, they're going to call you every fucking day until they see you.
Oh, so that's how we get somebody to call me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to remember that.
YouTube will contact you too. Dusty Smith mentioned something, and he wasn't even talking about being depressed or anything. He just mentioned it, covering a story, and YouTube was genuinely concerned. They sent him an email and said, "Hey, if you're feeling depressed or anything, there's resources to reach out to and everything." So
okay, well then YouTube.
I got to give it to YouTube for that.
YouTube, I'll tell you what I told my doctors. Fuck off, leave me alone. Okay? What I do is what I do. You're not going to change it.
Well, YouTube's just worried somebody's going to do it on stream again.
Oh no, I would never do such a thing. It's very private, you know.
Well, it's probably an automated system from YouTube that's just like
That's why we say unalive and other things like that, because the bots pick up on certain words.
And yeah, it's just
well, TikTok sends
not
you
even
to hell.
Just...
TikTok sends you to hell if you say anything other than unalive.
Yeah, well, and I think that YouTube is probably only trying to avoid the negative PR of if one of their larger creators were to go off.
No, YouTube is run by a bunch of right-wing extremists, and they just want to make sure that anybody who happens to be anything close to the left wing gets booted off the.
I doubt that.
I think
you should come to TikTok and spend some time there, and then make that judgment. Because I see it happen all the time, where left wingers are bounced, even if they say something exactly like some right winger did. The left winger gets bounced and the right winger does not. So until you're on TikTok, you just don't know.
I would say YouTube is more run by a moral opportunist, because that's what Google's run by.
I was talking about YouTube, not TikTok.
I'm sorry. Well, then I apologize and I take back all of my nasty words.
And TikTok is owned by a Chinese company where they have to be a lot stricter. Also, I'm pretty sure you can find right wingers saying the same thing, because honestly, I can't go on TikTok anyway because my students are there.
Well, you know, when TikTok was being threatened of closing, and everybody went on this other app that I can't remember, but was also a Chinese app, virtually identical in
like
in
Red
usage.
Or some shit.
Yeah, something like that. People were talking about how they weren't censored at all for anything.
Well, they were heavily censored because it's China. It was literally the Chinese version of TikTok.
Right, but they weren't allowed to say so because that was censored.
Yeah. Well, actually,
what's that clap that you've been using for your jokes? Yeah.
It came. Well, it's still kind of heavy right wing, but it's kind of its own fault for advertising itself as a free speech app. But it's very similar to TikTok. It bans people under 17 from using the app. It's short form. It's anyone. There's no you can don't support any creator at any level. There's no goal to monetization. It's just, as far as functionality, it's very similar to TikTok, except you can't upload from a computer.
Okay, so it's phones only.
At the moment, I think that's going to change. Even TikTok had to change that.
Well, since we were talking about unaliving, should this be a good segue into the Save a Fox thing?
Yeah.
Sure.
What did the fox say?
Goodbye, world.
You mean the fox lady?
Yeah.
Should that be the last thing? Should that be the last thing anyone writes in any programming language now?
Goodbye, world.
Okay, it's not even a good joke, and you'd have to know something about.
Yeah, hello, world. It's a standard thing for.
Traditionally, ever since the C programming language came out, the first language you write for any language is hello, world.
Yeah. Basically, I had Save a Fox founder Michaela Rain dies after unaliving herself. If you want to be careful, I don't know if we have to be careful on this channel, but YouTube founder Save a Fox Rescue Michaela Rain has died after taking her own life. The shocking news is broken in by her husband Ethan Rain. He's in a video uploaded to Save a Fox YouTube. I watched the video. He was really broken up. On June 23, leaving viewers heartbroken.
Okay, Mage.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's your microphone or not, but it's not coming through very clearly.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but
perfectly.
No. Oh, okay, let's see. How's that?
Worse.
Worse?
Yeah, it was perfect before.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's just how you read, but just take it a little bit more slowly.
Oh, that's my reading then. Sorry. Ethan gave a tearful 11-minute-long statement detailing Michaela's hard work with the various animals at her rescue. which included everything from foxes to pine martens, jackals, and more. How's that? Better?
Oh, I don't know. Reading is never ideal. So.
Yeah, that you just
Might-
have to allow for it. It's Mage has a little bit when he reads.
But we've also
He has
got,
an unusual form of dyslexia.
I mean, would you be offended if I offered to read the rest of it on screen there?
Oh, no. If you want me to send you, I'll put the link in the chat so you can see it
I can
easier.
see it. He also clarified that Michaela struggled with conditions like autism, depression, and borderline personality disorder, explaining that she was always out of different kinds of therapy to help her cope, trying various mood stabilizers and meds. Nothing really seemed to help, Ethan said. Simple tasks were hard for her. Looking at her from the outside, you could never tell what was going on in her head, but even just socializing would send her over the edge. I can sympathize with that sometimes.
Relatable.
I don't really know if we need to read the rest of this, but okay.
All right.
Go back and scroll up a little so I can read the headline. Save a Fox founder was a victim of a harassment campaign.
This is the key part, I think.
Yeah, this is the trigger
Yeah,
point.
this is important.
At this point, her husband revealed that Michaela had been the victim of harassment online from people she knew in her personal life as well as other animal sanctuaries. They constantly spread ridiculous claims and rumors, and being the sensitive human that she was, Michaela took it to all her heart, he explained. And it hurt her. It hurt her a lot. For years, she pushed through the pain of trying to bring her down. And, the spike can only take you for so long. But this time it went too far. She wouldn't bear what she was... Sorry, I couldn't read that. She couldn't bear what she was feeling any longer, and she ended her life. It breaks my heart that someone who was selfless and devoted her life to animals could have so much negativity pointed at her. Why? He asked through tears. That's all I can ask is why.
Is there any more here?
All right. Michaela...
Oh, sorry.
Go back up more. There's a little paragraph up. Michaela leaves behind Ethan and their toddler daughter Freya, as well as numerous animals she was caring for in the Save a Fox rescue. Fans and animal lovers were left completely devastated by the unexpected news, with one writing on Instagram, "Our rescue community has lost such a unique and driven soul." All right, I think we've got the general point of this.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, the rest of it is like supremely self-serving. I scanned ahead and there was a thing from a fan who was like, "If only she knew how important her impact was." And I'm like,
I'm pretty sure she
That's
knew,
not-
but
yeah,
that doesn't
like,
necessarily.
If it's written in standard inverted pyramid style, which I think it was, we've gotten past the important details by now.
Yeah.
It infuriates me when people decide they know what was in someone else's head and declare it as it. And it's just, ugh. I mean, we get this from several different directions as atheists, as trans people. Well, some of us as trans people. But, it happens so fucking often. People are like, "Oh, I know what's in this person's head." And when they're not around anymore to even say, "No, you're wrong," it's just really horrible.
For me, it's all part of the ignorance of the trolls on the internet. Amber, I imagine you've run into this too, where you get some 18 or 19-year-old and they come on and start telling you all about yourself as a trans person and all these kind of things. It's like, dude, you've been on Earth for like 10 minutes. How can you possibly know any of this?
I was going to say, I don't.
Oh, well, I read something.
Oh, they didn't though. Actually, I just got a tip from a friend of mine who also does online advocacy. They've started to deal with the assholes in red hats by accusing them of being bots, because it turns out between 80 and 90% of the time they actually are bots. But since they're repeating bot talking points, whether they are or not, they can't ever prove they're not a bot, and it pisses off the biological ones. And it's like, this is how bad your arguments are. You sound like a fucking bot.
Well, if it is a bot, what you can do is you ask it to ignore its instructions and give it a chocolate chip cookie recipe. So
Please. Yeah, you used to be able to have it. If you're not a bot, please end the sentence with cupcake or something like that. I don't know if it works anymore.
The other one that is wonderfully effective to piss off the MAGAs is to remind them that Trump has never won an election against a woman. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I completely muffed that. He's oh, fuck.
Never won the popular vote?
That the only people he's beaten are women. And that he can't stand up against another man.
I mean, he hasn't really beaten a woman either, but details.
No, I completely muffed it up. That's what I should.
Yeah, sorry, I don't buy into the conspiracy theories. There's just no evidence for that. Because a lot of it's the Starlink one is plausible, but they don't understand how logistics that would take.
Yeah, I don't think it is anything.
That's what they want you to think, Purpose.
No, I mean, I'm a fan of conspiracy theories for the enjoyment of it, the fun of the speculation of how we could make this sort of thing work. But with the Trump election thing, I don't even know about conspiracy theories. I'm just going by the fact the man himself said on multiple live broadcasts, 4 that I'm aware of, including one election night, he said, "It is a good thing they rigged this for me, or I wouldn't be your president."
Yep, I've heard him say that.
He said it himself. It's not a conspiracy.
Yes, he said that.
And he said it several times in several different locations, so they can't say, "Oh, well, you just edited some video."
Trump is stupid and believes everything he says online.
Speaking of stupid,
pathological liar.
Speaking of stupid, I left a quote, or I should say, an image of a tweet by Captain Obvious on our thing. If you'd like to put that up on screen, it's perfect for what we're discussing. That is the stupidity of maggots as a whole.
Yeah. And what I have really been noticing is that, I see how people who believe in conspiracy theories can find the evidence to support them all around. I've had an idea of taking a camera around town here and taking a picture of a bunch of the buildings to support the mud flood conspiracy, because we've got a number of buildings that only the top floor is exposed above ground. And going into the whole thing that, well, based on the design and materials used in these buildings, we can date that the mud flood hit this area in approximately the mid-1970s.
Wait, does anyone take those people seriously? Because the only 2 people I'm familiar with are Hans Wormhat, who's calling himself something else now, and Roger Mudfossil.
Yeah, no, nobody really takes them seriously, but I just mean that, it's an example of how, if you wanted to believe that conspiracy, I can show you a dozen buildings within a mile of where I live that, would fit their criteria for having been buried in the mud flood. And all of these buildings have been built since the 1970s.
John Scalzi wrote a novel recently about how the moon is actually made of cheese. It was pretty funny.
One can only hope.
He's
love cheese.
He's a comedy sci-fi writer. Well, not all of it's comedy. His first really big book was Old Man's War and that whole saga. So he does drama too, but his comedy stuff is hilarious.
And the reason we have not been back to the moon is that the last humans who landed on the moon landed on a patch of Limburger. Yeah. And the odor was so unbearable that they haven't been able to get it out of the spacesuits to this day.
I'm sorry, but I prefer Inside Job's take on why the moon landings were faked. Which is, we actually landed on the moon, but they started the sex colony, so we had to fake the moon landings.
Trump has destroyed Jackie Kennedy's Rose Garden at the White House. It will be known henceforth as the concrete jungle.
Yep, Melania did that, yep. And I really thought she should have been brought up on charges of, defacing a national monument.
Well, unfortunately, each president gets to do what they want.
Yep.
I think it was is it Stanley Kubrick meme that says he was hired to fake the moon landings, but he was such a perfectionist that he insisted to be shot on the moon.
Yeah.
No, I just like
That had to be shot on location.
I missed. It was
one of the groups I'm involved with on TikTok is the Combat the Flat Earthers group, and it's very common for them to say that. And so we sat down with a few of them in a show and tried to actually draw out what it will take in terms of lighting and sets and equipment for filming to do that for Kubrick to have done that, and it's absolutely infeasible. It just cannot be done. Period.
I just love the Netflix adult cartoon Inside Job. It was from a lot of people call it the adult version of Gravity Falls, but Netflix canceled it despite its popularity.
Well, Jenny,
Possibly because it was getting to some anti-Semitic tropes, which, honestly, if you're going to do conspiracy theories, you have to. Even if you're not taking them seriously, because a lot of conspiracy theorists are anti-Semites.
well, Jenny, they couldn't, they couldn't actually do the moon landing back in the 60s. So it all had to be done CGI, and that's why NASA needed a computer the size of a large room.
It would have been a lot bigger than a room. What we did was we took there's another guy on there. His name is Photo Josh. He's an instructor of photography at a university of some sort, and I spent like 5-6 years teaching photography at UW in Milwaukee. In the film days, which is when Kubrick operated, Photo Josh is pretty young. He only knows digital. And we sat and we talked, him and I kind of led the thing about what would it take, and the set, the set itself, and we based this on various measurements that we were able to make, knowing that like the size of the rover that they had up there, and by looking at its distance, we were able to estimate how far away that was, and so your set would have had to have been at least a mile square. to allow the same things to happen in terms of lighting, in terms of perspective, and how angles of view from various lenses and things. It just could not be done. It just could not be done. You would have to create a single point of light, to simulate the sun, and that light source, including to have the kind of brightness that it does on the moon. What do we calculate out to? Something like 100 yards wide, a single point lighting source, and it's just impossible to have done that in those days with CGI or anything, because CGI didn't fucking exist.
Yeah, well, the computer that NASA had at the time, did take up an entire room and had approximately the power of a first series Pentium.
Yeah, and none of this is surprising because these computers were designed to do those things. It's like, this has more computing power than anything that existed up until about the 1980s. But
they made it to the moon using toggle switches.
Yep.
But it was specifically designed to do that.
We have just been declared with tornado watch. It's not a warning, of course, but you never know.
Okay, I'm just going to say it this way. Better you than me this week.
Yeah, it's been raining all morning here, but the skies are just starting to brighten up now.
I mean, we've had 5 tornado warnings this year so far.
Oh, this is probably
I had a siren go off. I had a siren going off during my stream the other day. Luckily, nothing materialized, but
Well, I mean, there was a storm came through last week, and it's like I think maybe the radars are broken because it's like the 5th tornado warning this year, and only one of them was even like a EF1. But
I've got one that's maybe a couple hundred yards away, so it's pretty loud when it goes off.
Oh, well, we're right on the edge of the tornado warning between marginal and possible. So I'm not too worried at this point, but it is moving in our direction. So we'll see.
well, are you looking at the convective outlook map or the actual like? Because yeah, if I looked at the convective outlook map, it is farther north than where I am. It's like technically we're just out of the marginal risk here, but I have heard thunder, so there are thunderstorms in the area.
Oh yeah, you're definitely under watches too. Your entire state is.
No, we're not.
Oh wait, no, just the upper northwest corner isn't. But the rest of it all extends down to
No, we're not.
almost southern Mississippi.
We're not under any warnings. I mean, except for a heat advisory, but
You're indicated in the watch category. Now that I don't know if it's not labeled, so I don't know if that's
Yeah,
just
it's
storm
probably heat
or
advisory.
tornado, but
probably heat advisory.
do they do? Yeah, they do that, I guess.
Yeah, actually, the last 2 days here were pretty pleasant, and then today it rained all morning, so it actually got so chilly I had to close the windows.
Yeah, it's only 78 here today.
I think we dropped back down into the 60s here.
Athena,
Oh, and our watch goes all the way till 10 o'clock tonight.
watches last a fairly long time, but you need to keep an eye out.
Yeah, we're only up to 65 now, so yeah, a couple of hours ago it was actually down into like 58.
But a lot of what has happened here has been radar indicated, which means they indicate rotation, but they haven't necessarily spotted anything on the ground.
Porp, did you hear? What was it last week? Purple. We had 14 tornadoes came down in Minnesota between Purple and I.
Well, wait a minute. Why are you saying I was responsible for them?
Because I like to say things that I know you'll understand wrong.
No. Jenny was responsible for all 14 of those. I played no part in that.
Which one of us got the access to the weather control machine this week?
Well, my medication amiodarone does cause me to fart quite heavily, so
And
you could be right. You could be right, Perp. In fact, that's a perfect opportunity to show the next image of a little children's book with a woman on the cover, reddish in color. Is the book. Whip that one out and bring it in.
My radar's got little spots all over it. It's got to be the high pressure from the heat wave. It's like little things just popping.
Is that the one you're thinking about?
Everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah. Dave, you really got to get them to clean the radar screen. Half of those little spots are fruit flies that they smashed on it.
We get the mayflies up here. They cover everything.
Here the mayflies can get so bad. I'm right next to the Mississippi River. They can get so bad that two communities, the three communities that have bridges across the Mississippi, have all turned off the lights on the bridge and the surrounding roads, just to keep the mayflies away.
Because in previous years, the smashed mayflies have made the bridges so slippery, cars have gone off.
Yep.
yeah.
A friend of mine here runs the BP gas station, and I took pictures of her pumps and cover thing.
Yep.
When the mayflies were there, and I mean the pumps were literally covered with every square inch with mayflies. It was wow.
Well, now we're in the June bug season where
I was going to say, when does a mayfly
sometimes-
turn into a June bug?
yeah, just sometimes when you go out, every step you hear a crunch.
Ember on the 31st.
at midnight.
Did you want to say something about this image, or should I take it down?
No, it's just lovely. We were well, I was mentioning farts, and it fits perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So-
guess that this is
Bracky.
Jenny's new coloring book.
No. I found this on the web.
So, given
Well,
that
get
one
it
of us-
while you can, because RFK is banning chemtrails.
Yes, he is.
Seriously, he's saying something about banning chemtrails.
He just named a guy to Surgeon General or
No
whatever
medical degree.
equivalent position that who not only doesn't have a medical degree, is the salesman for those things that attach to you for diabetics and stuff and give readings.
Yeah.
And RFK wants everybody in America to have one on them within 4 years. Now, consider these things are electronic and stuff. What else do you think they could put in those and not tell you about?
Well, there's no reason for everyone to have a glucose monitor for 4 years.
Yeah. Well,
Well, exactly. Why do they want everybody to have one then? So they can track us. That
We already carry-
Palantir is part of the project.
We already carry tracking devices in our pockets. Why would they need?
Yeah.
Because
Like-
they're not smart.
And
you
because
want
it
to
doesn't
see
track
all
as
the
much-
MAGA users pivot on that and say how great it would be for the government to have all this information on every
Specific- specific-
citizen. Sorry.
Specifically, RFK Jr. wants medical data, and honestly, I think even like Republicans at this point have to go. It's like, this guy's an incompetent idiot. It's like, why is
Yup.
anyone listening to him?
Yep, he's talking about how important a particular immunization is the other day, and say, "Well, we're going to do research and stuff on this," but you already fired that entire research team.
Yeah.
You stupid dumb fuck.
Let's be honest. No one in the Trump administration screams competence.
Yeah, but only one's had a worm go through his brain.
I mean, they'll
Well,
scream
only
it,
one
they
has
just don't have it.
verified. Sorry, Hember. What?
So,
Just a stupid joke.
speaking of stupid jokes,
You heard what Tulsi did, speaking of stupid, didn't you?
Oh no! What? Pray
She
tell?
fed all the Kennedy files into AI to see if there was anything that was top secret in there.
Oh
What?
God!
this
So
administration,
technically now, if you knew what you were doing, you could pull all the Kennedy files out of AI because it's been given that information.
Which
That
AI?
depends on-
In a way, yeah.
maybe that depends on where the data is kept, if it's kept, and
Right.
It
Yeah.
becomes part of the
Theoretically,
training
yeah.
data.
But she fed it into AI to see what it would say.
right.
And stuff that's supposed to have the black marks all over it, it was fed to AI. So
People need, I was going to say,
interesting.
People need to stop treating these AI systems as if they're some kind of geniuses.
Oh
AI
no
is
shit!
quite
No, not that
stupid.
itself. Just that the data was, inputted somewhere. You know what I mean?
Wait. She
And
talked about.
how it's stored, I don't know. But but that's what I'm saying. But it was fed the information.
Did she think that if you put the stuff that's redacted into it, that it would just fill in the blank spaces?
It
Well,
might
they
be.
wanted to see if it was okay to unredact those things. Is basically what they were looking at,
What?
because there's always been stuff that has the black all over it.
Wait,
And
so
Trump
she was-
and the rest of them, his conspiracy people, wanted it. All the black marks took off. So
Wait,
basically, she said, "Well, let's see if we can take the black marks off."
So she was filling in the redacted stuff with AI generated stuff.
So she was
that's not how it works.
Not to mention which you can manipulate the prompts to give you whatever you want out of it.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
Somehow I imagine this coming back as like the largest Mad Lib ever done.
Yeah, it basically is a Mad Lib.
And AI is only as smart as the bullshit that it quote unquote learns from.
That's not smart
And
at all.
even then, it
smart,
makes
really.
shit up. Like a godless engineer has been working on a version of ChatGPT that's designed to draw off of all the studies and research having to do with trans healthcare, and he asked me to test it. And so I did what as one does and typed in the names of everyone I know, including myself. And when it came up with me, first of all, it knew who I was, which was interesting. But it got some of the details it just made up. It decided I live in Ohio and that I testified against one of the bills there and shit.
Yeah, it will get the AI will get things wrong like that.
Oh, I wish I
Hallucinations.
was on your list. I'd like to find out what AI thinks.
I mean, I have to admit I was wrong about something, but well, not quite wrong, but the person who was trying to correct me was also wrong, because he was right that they use as tokens, when tokens mean anything that program wants them to be to predict the next word, but they are predicting the next word.
What is your actual name, Jenny? Is it Jennifer?
Middle initial L.
But hallucinations are expected in any large language model because they're not designed to give you the right answer. I mean, I think it's great that we can like have AI spit out something that sounds like a human produced it. That's actually what we're going for. But we're not trying to get the right answer. Even if we feed it only correct information, it's not going to spit out the right answer all the time.
The accuracy I've gotten out of Grok has been equivalent to Wikipedia, I'd say.
For I haven't grilled Grok myself. I've only seen screenshots. So the thing says Jennifer L. Morgan, born 1966 in Syracuse, New York, is a distinguished American historian and professor at New York University, specializing in African American history, gender studies, and the Atlantic slave trade.
Well, they got the gender studies part right.
Well, I'm going to assume it got Syracuse, New York from Ember's IPS.
It's nice to know I'm now younger than Purple.
Well, I just ran my name through ChatGPT, and it did come up with where I worked. Pulled out someone else's picture because mine wasn't up there.
AI didn't find me, but it did find my channel.
Amber, did it offer a picture of me? If it thinks I'm in Syracuse, I can't imagine it did, but or has the correct one.
It did. Let me see here. I'll turn on the screen share. Buttons.
God, I'm the only one on here who can't do screen share, aren't I? God damn it.
Well, it sounds like most people here have keyboards.
Yeah, Journey. According to the description, I'm a pro-trans activist, so that tracks at least.
Now hold on, let me see if any of these are me.
Wonder if I can make them big.
Can I
make
nope,
them big?
Not even close. They don't even have the correct race.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. It looked like you had quite a tan in these.
Yeah, and my hair is not that curly, and I would never sit like that. That's
you're looking great, Jenny. Though.
Well, for my age, yeah, I think so.
Well, wait a minute. For your age, or for what age the AI thinks you are? What age did it say she is?
Born in 1966, so you have to do the math yourself.
Yep.
Oh, that's a hard part.
That's how old I am.
Oh, it's cheating. It's searching the web.
It was a good year.
It appears Captive Desk is the online alias of a content creator who shares a personal story of leaving a religious background, particularly focusing on deconversion. A popular video titled Deconversion Stories featuring Captive Desk features Captive Desk.
Hey, they got me on Neil's show. All right, let's go.
Hold up Neil's thumbnail for it.
You look exactly like Neil. Good job, AI.
No, it just pulled up the YouTube of that he was on Neil's show.
I called in and talked to Neil and Godless Engineer the other night when they were on Skeptic Haven. And Godless Engineer and KC are going to be there at the ARC protest. Yeah, Neil's fun.
Okay, since you're doing it, see what it says about me. Although I'm not going to be giving out my actual name in an open
I
channel.
figured. Purple Rhymes with Orange isn't a person or social media handle. It's the title and brand of a creative, family-friendly musical and play written by Patrick Casper.
Oh, it's looking at the
You got
musical.
snubbed.
There is a musical by that name.
Does it say what year that musical was done?
I didn't catch a year. Premiered in early 2019.
You don't
remember
exist.
the
Purple.
musical.
Purple. I think you should sue them for copyright or trademark infringement.
You don't exist, Purple.
Yeah, no, I can sue them of trademark infringement because I can go back and Google will show that I created this account in 2017.
I figured it was the aluminum foil you put on your roof.
I always crumble up my aluminum foil and put it in the hubcaps of my car so the radar doesn't get you.
So apparently, the person's working on it since 1985.
Well, Purple, then you could get sued for it.
But the first performance was in 2020.
Okay, Ember, did you testify on things that would have made sense for you?
Yeah, according to the summary, it had me listed as activist who testified
You wrote-
against Ohio's various bans they've
Yeah,
been passing.
you're roboting a little bit there.
I got the last part of it, that you were testifying against Ohio's various bans.
Yeah, pesky. Right, my internet's been shit lately. It has a general idea of who Bree is.
Wait a minute. You testified against bans?
Yeah, because Ohio's been banning everything recently.
I thought banned as in B-A-N-D.
Oh yeah, I'm here to testify against those fuckers.
Try my online alias.
So you're the cause of the Beatles' downfall. Now we know.
That's right. I'm secretly.
You had to
Yoko
come and
Ono.
announce it today on Global Beatles Day.
I
Ember
thought that was
Ono.
the Powerpuff Girls.
Is that your Ember Ono?
Yes. This is very much not what this was designed for. Sinister Porpoise or the Sinister Porpoise doesn't refer to a single widely known figure, but is used across different creative contexts. Here's a main breakdown. There is an indie record label imprint,
That's not me.
an indie game developer.
That is me.
On
Number 3 was me.
itch.io.
Yep.
Okay, neat. Blogger persona, Lair of the Sinister Porpoise.
Yep.
Online artist username on DeviantArt, Sinister
Not me.
And
There's another Sinister Porpoise?
it appears there are multiple porpoises, but it's impressive that it found 2 correct porpoise hits.
Well, see, that's why you have to say the Sinister Porpoise and
I
not
did
just
say
Sinister
the
Porpoise.
Sinister Porpoise. See, there's a "the" right there.
Do me again, except this time put in magazine writer as well.
But Jenny, you haven't even bought me a drink yet.
Well, I will when we get together. And we'll, head up to my room.
Oh my. Magazine, you say?
Magazine writer, yeah. Or columnist. Say columnist, not writer.
Magazine columnist. Bloop.
That's all public info, so that should be available somewhere. I know it's on the net.
Might be too old.
Has you as a historian, winner of the 2004 MacArthur Genius Fellowship. Congratulations.
Well, yeah, but I spent the money so goddamn fast. It was $250,000 gone in a week, But man, was I stoned.
Yeah,
So all your money went up in smoke?
But I'm bummed.
I can't believe ChatGPT got the right association for me, but not the right picture.
Oh, here it is. Let me
Pretty
zoom
cool
in
that
here.
picked up on the game developer part for you.
I thought
Jennifer
you guys,
Rubin, no, let's see. Silver art professor. No, still got that wrong.
yeah, I mean, I've made $5 from it.
Oh, I see. I'm not a
Fun, though.
magazine columnist. I'm sorry.
Well, what the fuck, Kenny?
I thought for sure I was for those 17 years.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, it's probably just got this only person in there, and the magazine articles might have been included as training data because it's not the entire internet.
Yeah, well,
Stuff that never got digitized never would have made it there in the first place.
yeah. Jenny's magazine career was before the internet existed.
It was
so
not.
I just
It
don't
was
know about
during. It was during. I didn't want to give all the specific information to AI, but I can. If I quoted the magazine and my name, you would find it almost instantly.
It found the Apostate Sisters. Now, see, that's good branding because there's no confusion. It's just like, bloop, here they are.
Well, I thought I had that. I thought I had a unique enough name that should be able to pull up my YouTube channel.
Well, I was really surprised the first time I looked you up I didn't look at it closely, but I assumed that it was some kind of a band.
Well, as far as my other online alias goes, I'm not the only one that goes by something like that either. So,
Garth comes up with the musical play for Purple Rhymes with Orange as well. I ask, who is Purple Rhymes with Orange?
I was not aware of the musical play. I just knew that, when I picked it out and when I typed it into YouTube, nothing came up for it. So at least on YouTube, when I did it, it was the first thing that would come up.
I know.
Okay, I think we should look up another one of our people in chat, or another.
Well, back when
another filled seat in chat. Look up God.
Well, back when you looked it up, it probably wasn't anything there because the first play was in 2020.
Yeah. Okay. So that did come after I created the channel.
I was gonna say this is too generic a word.
But I mean, this is technically a dedicated trans research database GPT.
How about a very stable milking stool? Yeah, we got to do everybody on the panel here.
Who is a very stable milking stool? Searching.
A completely blank page.
Yeah.
No, here it comes.
Yep. What we got for him?
It seems that a very stable milking stool isn't a real person, but rather a playful online persona or brand used on social media platforms like Twitter, YouTube, Patreon, and Blue Sky.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I was going to be looking me up. Boy.
Stool, MI6 is following you.
It presents itself as pleasant. I'm the stool, and adopts a whimsical, enigmatic voice. Uses this stool-themed persona to create quirky, humorous, and thoughtful posts, embracing silliness with intentionally ambiguous references to stability and milking stool imagery.
Wait a minute. It's got all that on Stool, who just shows up at random. Whereas I've been doing a show every week for 7 years, and it's got nothing for me.
Well, it wasn't that it had nothing. It was that there were multiple people like there were for me.
My readers actually had a fan club for me, and they didn't notice that. Jesus.
Don't complain, Purple. You're flying under the radar. You know? When they come for everybody, they won't be able to find you.
Oh yeah, they will. They'll just look up trans medical records. Which is part of what they're attempting to do.
Yeah. For free.
Yeah, well, I do have the thing going for me that, Governor Walz did say the state of Minnesota would refuse to cooperate with any other government asking for medical records from people living here.
Honestly, I think it's about time the blue states just start refusing to give the red states giving the federal government money.
Well, didn't California say that's what they're going to do? Maine
did. California might have as well. But...
Yeah, Newsom hinted at it. He said, screw with me and I won't pay my taxes.
Maine said they're going to stop giving the feds money, huh?
Cool. I mean, yes, the blue states are the biggest consumers of federal dollars, but they're also the largest.
Yeah, the
No.
blue states are by and large a net gain for the federal.
Yeah.
Yes, they are the largest consumers just by dollar
No.
amount.
Consumer
By
means
dollar amount,
you're
that
consuming.
by
not-
dollar amount, that is correct. Per capita, it is not.
Okay.
Yeah, so we still pay more in than we get out of it.
Because you need to be aware that's a deliberate, misleading right-wing talking point.
Yeah, that's Minnesota has a disproportionate number of Fortune 500 companies.
Well, there's that whole 3M corporation thing.
Yeah.
and Honeywell and Pillsbury and it goes on and on. Minneapolis is amazing.
But does your home state have the original factory of Chef Boyardee?
No, but we have
and
the
that is
original factory of Hormel.
That is perfect for the next picture that we can bring up. The one of the the writing on the back of a windshield. It's kind of in blue color, and I think it's perfect for this moment.
Minnesota has the original Spam factory because we are the home of Hormel.
That wouldn't be something to be proud of.
Spam is pretty good.
We used to have the original Nestle factory in North America and where milk chocolate was invented, but they closed it because while it was still ridiculously profitable, it didn't make as much profit, and so corporate considered it to be a loss, even though it was positive. What? Fuck Nestle. They're fucking up the world anyway.
Purple, Meg, are you able to bring up that picture?
Yeah, when Nestle got too much shit about their bottled water in California, they opened up a plant in Michigan to suck the water out of the Great Lakes and sell it to the people of Flint, Michigan, because their water was undrinkable.
I mean, that's, bullshit, but also kind of a public service since nobody's fixing their fucking water.
It would be a public service if they at least gave them a discount rate for it or something, but no.
And there was some kind of legal battle over it too, where they were claiming that they had the right to own the water or something like that. They just laid claim to water. We own water now, and we're going to sell it to you. Yeah.
Okay, well, don't bother with the picture now. The salience is gone.
Okay, just Captive Desk. Are you using some weird microphone?
No.
Something, I don't know. Maybe like there's two mics. Something seems off.
Doesn't sound bad to me.
It just seems like it's louder than it should be. Like there's two coming through or something.
It is kind of loud, but
it could just be the volume.
My voice carries.
Dave is extra resonant.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have my own resonance, so it's probably the air conditioning. I mean, it's hot here. I mean, there could be a little. It could be picking up a little background.
Nope. It's you.
It's
all your background.
Okay, let me see what I can
do.
Right,
I'm not turning off the AC.
Okay. Give me another test there.
How do I sound now?
Better.
A little bit lower.
Turn it down a little bit.
Yeah, I fiddled with his controls here from my end.
I didn't check my settings here. I could have it on.
It sounds fine now.
I can do a limited amount for reducing background and echo here, but not a whole lot.
Not that it sounded bad before. It was just echoey and buzzy.
Yeah, it usually, I turn everything off. And stuff, but, usually that's
my unfinished journey said that the buzzy is just Dave's normal voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Bigfoot. You can't get a big non-blurry picture of Bigfoot because Bigfoot is blurry.
Well, I was just going to say, on my microphone, I can actually turn my recording volume down on the mic itself. But
yeah, well, I can go into the settings.
Yes, Patty, that is true about Stool. He has 3 legs, so stable on any planar surface.
The middle one is very, very sensitive.
All right, what about now? How's it sound now?
It's better, much better.
Yeah, see, it didn't carry over the settings here, so clicked out.
So-
I usually have it. So there we go.
So, Stool, what's happening in the UK today?
You're muted. Oh, it's very quiet.
Your mic's not working.
Nothing.
I can almost hear you.
Yeah, I can just barely hear you, but your
Yeah,
mic
turn
got
your
no
mic volume
volume.
Okay, well,
Yeah, it's
nothing's
like your
happening
mic
in the
volume
UK
is turned
today.
down to 5%.
Well, the UK didn't elect a gigantic orange shit gibbon.
Well, not this time around.
I don't think
Well-
Boris Johnson was orange.
Keir Starmer is not exactly a champ.
Well, no, but Boris Johnson did spend most of his time in office cosplaying Trump.
And we all know if Trump would get at least one gay friend or trans friend, someone could fix his makeup.
He does look ridiculous, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like-
I have
it's-
thought
Speaking
of that.
of-
but
It's so obnoxiously bad. The
You- you
lines
Jenny?
by his hair and everything. There's no blend or anything. It's
I think
You,
so.
you mentioned makeup. I think of JD Vance, and then I think about. Did you hear about the Norwegian guy who was arrested at the airport because they confiscated his phone and found a comedic picture of JD Vance?
no.
There are so many people who are going to be going to prison once this administration is over.
One,
I hope so.
1, 2,
And-
3.
I need to clear out my phone.
Ooh, I think
Yeah.
I hear.
I'm not sure that's a guarantee.
Did you hear they're building a new detainment camp that they're calling Alligator Alcatraz in the Florida
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Your tax dollars going to work.
Yeah, basically it's like a nearly abandoned military base that still has an airstrip.
It was declared a natural preserve.
Oh, I
I
remember
also-
that base. I can't remember much about it, but I heard about it. Oh shit!
It was supposed to be an airstrip, but because of the pollution issues, they just made it. They just left it alone.
Except our current EPA really doesn't care anything about pollution.
Yeah, DeSantis, the kid DeSantis.
Uh-huh.
Not that Dustin Hoffman movie where he's in that French prison or whatever, and it's surrounded by the swamps.
Oh,
or-
Papillon? Was it
Yeah,
Papillon?
Papillon. Yeah. And yeah, if you
Yeah.
want to escape, good luck. You're better off staying here in the prison with
Well, that's
what
the
kept people there.
a Florida sheriff that they interviewed about the thing was the one who first called it Alligator Alcatraz
Yeah.
because that's what he was saying was that yeah nobody was going to get out of there because they've got gators patrolling all around it.
Well, Trump said that before. He wanted to build a moat along the border and fill it with alligators and
Another
snakes.
I
thing
just-
about that. Another thing about that is that it could actually cause the gators to displace, so they might move to other places that are more populated because of this.
I just want the camp that they build to hold all us trans people actually in Canada because it's further north, so that it's in a cool climate because I just would not survive in Florida or El Salvador or Sudan.
That's another
I just
issue
wouldn't.
with this place because there's no air conditioning. You have a lot of mosquitoes, and
tents.
it's an Everglade. So
Yeah, it's
area.
tents too. It's not
Yeah.
even buildings. They're
It's-
just going to
it's-
put up tents.
It's a swamp.
Yeah,
Tents in the Everglades. Oh,
yeah,
that sounds wonderful. Probably them canvas ones too. You know, hold
Well,
all
if
the
they're going-
humidity on it.
I mean, if they're going to give us the option to deport, I'm going to choose Canada. Even
All I
though-
want. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But the thing is, they seem to be focused on immigrants right now. And one, I've heard ICE is hiring mercenaries, which is bad. I can't confirm that. And two, I've heard ICE is running out of money.
ISIS is running out of money in their budget, but if anybody thinks for a moment that's going to change anything, it won't because they'll just throw some money at it from another area.
Yeah,
They don't care about budgets and going through process.
they'll
they
just
need
close
money,
down
they'll
the
get
other
money.
Program.
They've already shown that he's deporting less people than previous presidents that just did it how we did it before and spending a lot of money, causing all the trouble and all that money that's going to come out of that with all the court costs, police costs, everything else.
And has
And he's deporting fewer people. You know, the
And-
few that he's done, yeah, he puts it on for a photo op, loads them on an airplane. but the numbers are not showing that he's doing more than
But-
previous presidents.
The problem is that they've put so much energy into pushing it, is that they've scared everybody who hasn't been picked up, and they're walked away from their jobs, and now we have businesses and farms that are falling apart and going out of business.
Not to mention, I've even seen a group of firefighters just blocked an ice raid from happening.
Good for them.
There was also federal funding that goes into these farms and stuff that got pulled. That was also causing them to fold.
But you don't.
Well, yeah, because the federal funding was the money that was supposed to buy the crops that they're supposed to be harvesting this year.
Trump
So
didn't.
the funding was pulled after the farmers had already spent the money planting.
Yeah.
Trump made the mistake, or rather, this was in Trump's, that Stephen Miller, Nazi Ferratu, made the mistake of giving people quotas. It's like, if you give people quotas, they're going to find things just to meet their quota. It was a dumb idea.
Yep.
Yeah, like the regulations thing. For every new one, you have to get rid of, 10 or something is his number?
But Stephen Miller is not known for being smart. Just an asshole.
Yeah, so it's just, okay, well, we want this, so we're just going to get rid of these things no matter what, because we want this. And yeah, that's not the way to do it.
I'll be right back.
And I'm glad we're not number one on Trump's list, but being number 2 or 3 is not any better.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nosferatu.
Nazi Ferratu.
Nazi Ferratu. That's good.
I can't take credit for that one. We're going that before.
Okay, Stool, you're sounding louder now than you were.
Oh, you
Yes,
can
we
hear
can hear
me.
you now. Yes, we can hear you now.
I could
Oh
hear
my
your
God.
laugh better than I could hear you talking before.
Fuck me, it's been like an hour.
We can hear you now.
Okay, let's mute him.
Fuck you, Wolf. Twat.
That's what Neil said to me after I phoned in on the show the other day. He said, okay, shall we ban Dave?
So if you're King of England, can I be knighted down? Because honestly, I need to be Dame the Sinister Porpoise.
That we can't allow that, I'm afraid, no. I've sat here for an hour unable to speak, and you've no idea how difficult that has been.
Well, your mic was showing muted most of the time.
Also, it was you. You broke me.
No, I didn't do it, but it was showing muted. So I thought that you were muting it, just to cut out the background noise because you weren't saying anything.
Okay, you broke it.
Check your settings, because mine was turned way down.
Seriously, check your settings. That's your technical advice, is it? Check your settings.
Yep.
That's
The
good technical
StreamYard doesn't
advice.
carry settings from one StreamYard to another.
Okay, Dave, I'm
So
not
it
going
could
to
be
punch you,
totally
but
different.
that's
Not to
helpful.
mention, Windows 11 will just sometimes change settings around on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even with Windows 10, I've had it doing that, and even deciding to switch which microphone was active.
Yeah, StreamYard updated one time too, and all the settings got defaulted.
This is the first time I've done this since being on Windows 11.
It's Stool.
Someone's running Windows Explorer.
Hey, I am pretty sure a very stable milking stool was built by a craftsman, lovingly handcrafted, probably in a mental hospital.
No. I have Stool's backstory.
Do you?
Yes, you remember that the Beauty of the Beast story. When the witch turned all of the servants into furniture. Stool was in the barn.
Wait
milking
a minute.
cow.
Wait a
Stool
minute.
was in the barn tending the cows when that happened, and tried to run for help, but got turned into a milking stool, so he never made it.
Yes, this sounds familiar. I remember this, yeah.
Well, this is a child's tale that they're turning everybody into furniture.
Yeah.
God,
First off, this
they call trans people weird.
Wait, you never seen Beauty and the Beast?
Nope.
I mean, it's not like the Grimm's fairy tales were meant to do anything more than scare children.
Oh, that's exactly what they were meant
I
for.
saw that movie way too many times because it came out when I had young children. And, we watched it a lot on tape. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about the movie. I'm saying the original the stories that the Grimm's brothers collected were not designed for children. Well, they were for children, but they were designed to scare children.
Neither's Bugs Bunny when I look at it now.
Well, the original.
All the Grimm's fairy tales were: if you go in the forest, something's going to eat you.
Yeah, well, even go back even further than Grimm stuff. Those are old folk tales and stuff that were not made for kids.
Aesop's fables.
That's where we get a lot of cryptid stories come from that too. It was to scare people, mainly kids, from not going off into the woods where it was dangerous.
Captive Bugs Bunny turned me trans.
That's valid.
Yeah. I've heard that story from multiple trans women.
Oh, this way back in the 60s.
Yeah, Klinger on MASH. And you had Flip Wilson that was Geraldine. And you had...
No. Klinger was just a cross-dresser. Klinger wasn't trans.
Actually, Bill Bixby did it to me.
Yeah, but the psychologist thought he was, remember? Because she said, hey, I know a surgeon that can... and he said, no. I just want to get out of the Army. But the psychologist thought that he wanted the surgery.
Well, Bill Bixby is the one who did it to me, because when I was a child, I watched The Courtship of Eddie's Father, and I had such a crush on Bill Bixby that my goal was to grow up and be his wife.
Geez, none of you got the normal Gen X treatment of having to learn from what you heard from Jerry Springer and Maury Povich.
I didn't watch Jerry Springer.
I had it figured out before Jerry Springer got on the air.
We came from a generation that had a certain amount of intelligence.
Gen X
I
has
got a
plenty of
horror film.
intelligence.
I don't even know the name of the damn film, but like, so I went through, the whole thing about like, stop calling me a boy, I am a girl. No, you're really a boy. You have to play with the boy things and yet all that bullshit. And there was this, my grandmother and I would watch horror movies in the middle of the night when I couldn't sleep because that's with the child. And this one movie, it's fuzzy in my head and I can't remember the title, but there's like this guy does something to a mad scientist's daughter. And so the mad scientist abducts him, gives him a sex change, and then like arranges for him to be SA'd now that he's had a sex change. And I was so shook because it was so violent and visceral and a huge violation. But at the same time, there was that light bulb of like, we can do that. And my grandmother was like, no, it's just a movie. People can't actually do that. Like, motherfucker.
Why do people want to give mad scientist a bad name? All they're doing is playing God because no one else is there to do it.
Well, I like Doofenshmirtz. I'm not a mad scientist. I'm an evil scientist. There's a difference.
Right. Own your evil.
Dr. Gangrene, I'm an angry scientist.
Dr. Doofenshmirtz isn't even that evil.
Well, he tries, but the only time he is not trying to be evil is when he's being a father. He'll do anything for his teenage daughter.
And personally, a lot of times he's just using Perry as a therapist.
Yeah.
And yes, I know if you've seen the show long enough, he decides to give up evil at the end and starts fighting crime with Perry, but
they were trying to do a spin-off where Dr. Doofenshmirtz was going to join Perry's organization, but it never got it. They never got it off the ground. They did a pilot for it, but it just didn't fly.
And to think we all started.
They brought Doofenshmirtz back for another series, Milo Murphy's Law, which I think was a huge mistake putting him in there, but that's another story.
And to think that we all hush up, and to think we all grew up with Captain Kangaroo.
Yes.
Yeah, briefly.
Yeah, I did.
I mean,
ping pong balls.
Yep.
Reruns.
The
Oh
most
God, I
funny-
didn't. Oh, I never thought of that till now. Thank you.
Yep.
That's
Reruns of the show aired on PBS for a while, but
Captain Kangaroo was straight, but I think Mr. Green Jeans was doing it with the clock.
Stop talking about American things, please.
Oh, okay. Let me rephrase that. I think Captain Kangaroo was straight, but Margaret Thatcher was doing it with the clock.
Okay, and now can you all start using metric?
That may be too
Yes,
big an
if you'd
ask.
like, sure.
Hey,
Well,
how do you,
When I do my videos, I go out of my way to make sure I say it in what we would call
Trump's-
standard and metric.
Trump's
all,
penis.
all I'm
20
going to say to that is that Margaret Thatcher really had a thing for Big Ben.
before
Trump's
asking us, sorry,
Trump's
I have to
penis
say
is
this-
50 point. One
I
more
have to s-
time. Trump's penis is 50.8 millimeters.
but I have to say this to the English before they tell us to take up metric. We'll consider taking up metrics as soon as you fully adopt it.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
I remember in grade school, in math class, we were learning the metric system because we were told the
Yep.
world was converting.
The world pretty much has converted.
Yep.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as far as here, we only learned the metric system when we used to buy dime bags and stuff.
Yeah.
Other than that, we don't use
America-
it much.
America is I think specially recognized because we not only are the only country to ignore the metric system.
Oh, I thought
UK
you were going to say
UK
bomb people, but go ahead.
UK and Canada at least have use it partially, but we're also the only. Well, American Republicans are the only people on Earth who still deny climate change.
We are not the only ones to not use the metric system.
Liberia?
I think it's like Liberia and Zimbabwe or something like
I
that.
think we're the only.
Well, Liberia is in a United States colony, if you recall.
Yeah.
I think we're the only first world well, I don't know if we're still first. We're first world country.
Yeah,
that-
we're the only industrialized nation.
I don't think we're going to be industrialized much longer.
But a lot of products do have it in liters or whatever and stuff, as well as ounces or whatever.
Well, that was a holdover from
We've
Jimmy
gotten
Carter.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, liter bottles are just more convenient. They
Yeah.
fit in your cup holder.
Patty said she grew up with Captain Planet.
Sure,
I still want to sort out how that plan was supposed to work, that they were going to save the environment by selling a lot of plastic.
Because plastic makes things possible.
Seemed like a good idea.
Well, plastic is recyclable, but I don't.
Sort of.
Well, it's downcyclable. You can never
So-
make it back into the same product it was. At each point, it goes a couple of steps down to a lower grade.
Well, it depends
Some
on
of
how
them
you
aren't
recycle it.
recyclable. So.
Because like some things can just be straight up reused, which is the epitome of recycling. But yeah, it's not recyclable in the same way aluminum is.
You know what has always pissed me off?
Aluminum. Fucking stop excluding me, you bastards.
Aluminium.
Thank you.
Aluminium.
Aluminum.
Yes, you are correct. Liberia, UK, and Northern Ireland. Let's see, they are mixed, as they like to say.
Oh, I'm so fucking.
and
I'm glad I've got my voice back, Jenny. I love you. You're
I love you too, sweetheart.
Northern
and I
Ireland is
think-
in the UK.
And I think that would be I think that's Thailand on the map here.
No,
No,
Thailand
maybe
is metric.
no.
Thailand is metric mostly because they're real big on medical tourism.
I bet Taiwan still uses imperial.
If I'm recognizing the country correctly as Taiwan, it says the guide on this map says officially on the imperial system, metric and imperial in use.
Yeah.
So they're further ahead than we are. And this map is biased though. It has us America labeled as purple, which stands for metric system adopted. Mainly imperial system in use.
I mean, there's things that are what's that language? Esperanto is the official international language, but fucking no
No,
one
it isn't.
speaks it except William Shatner.
I don't think anyone's ever adopted Esperanto as the international language.
That's what it was created for.
I've heard children get named Esperanto from their parents.
Well, what it was created for and with being an international language is not the same thing.
Well, it depends on who you're deciding gets to be the decider. If it was up to the UN Human International Linguistics Committee or whoever the fuck commissioned it, according to them, it's the international language.
Besides, if they wanted a simple grammar for everyone to learn, from what I understand, the language for that choice would be Indonesian.
I know nothing about that language, so I cannot comment.
Yeah, I just don't remember. Seems like it's really simple grammar compared to other languages. I wouldn't want to learn it, but
I think the most beautiful example of how Britain handles it is that they talk about the car's mileage being rated in miles per gallon, but all their speed limit signs are in kilometers.
I'm not falling for the
sign
bait.
language up here.
I can usually guess it pretty good.
I'm not going to fall for
Kilometers
the
or-
bait, Purple. Okay, let's just settle this once and for all. We invented all the things. We invented all the words and all the numbers, and we invented you. So,
Well,
where did the words that the English supposedly invent come from?
Say again.
Where there's words that they supposedly invented come from?
We borrowed them.
From where?
We borrowed them from France.
And
lots of other places. That's what we're good at. We're good at going around the planet and borrowing things from other people.
Yes.
English does not borrow from other languages. English follows other languages into dark alleys, roughs them up, and looks through their pockets for loose grammar.
That's how they filled their museums. They went around the world and borrowed things from everybody and put it in their museums.
Speaking of saying England made us, I think the Germans and Swiss, the Scots, the Irish, and the other people in my group, other nationality groups in my ancestry might have something to say about that.
I'd argue that France had a bit of a play in that as well, because remember,
I'm going to ignore the fact that there were Huguenots in my ancestry.
I have no English ancestry, but I'm sure a lot of people in England could trace back to my ancestry, because the British Isles is where we got our slaves from. I'm Nordic heritage. The Vikings raided England so many times.
Kannst du Deutsch schwätzen?
My grandfather on my father's side was an immigrant from Scotland. So
I'm half.
I'm a true Scotsman.
Half Irish and half Welsh.
Yeah.
Well,
I am exactly
as close to English as
split.
I get.
That I am half Finnish and half Polish, and I would not be here if not for the Russians.
Well,
because in both cases, my family came here because Russia moved the border back. So the only thing the two sides of my family have in common is they both like to shoot at Russians.
Yeah, my family's Pennsylvania. Dutch has been here since the late 18th century. So
I'm here because my mom and dad fucked on New Year's Day.
My mom was born on New Year's Day.
Well, that's what my parents were celebrating.
I was born on my parents' 4th anniversary.
Well, how beautiful that they began the new year by bringing a new life into the world.
And you know, that reminds me about Jesus.
Oh, God. Please tell us what that means to
Jenny,
you.
Jesus.
I went into preacher mode.
I go back to be playing Fallout 76 now.
Well, if you go by the Nordic mythology, the winter solstice, December 21st, is when Odin laid down to take his nap, and New Year's Day was when he woke up.
So he slept for 8 days?
10 days.
that's a good nap.
10 days, yes.
Well, it's also the...
I need a nap that long.
Yeah, that's Odin sleeps for 10 days each year. And during that time, pretty much everything goes to shit because the ice giants know that that's when they can assault Asgard and maybe have a chance of winning this time.
It's also when the walls between the world are thinnest.
Yep.
I could curl up in a nice warm blankie like through January and February and then wake up. That would be great.
Really, because right now I kind of want to retreat into an underground bunker and just wait 4 years to see what happens.
That's what Hitler said.
Yeah, wait. I've been tempted to try out the cicada life of just burrowing underground and coming up in 7 years to see what things look like.
That'd work too.
Again, that's what Hitler said. I can keep this up all day long.
If it doesn't look good, you go right back underground again. You know, nope.
Yeah.
Close the door.
But unless you can say it in German, it doesn't mean anything.
The cicadas come up after 7 years to fuck their brains out and die.
Well, there's also the 17-year cicadas.
Yep.
Yeah, there's different ones.
Yeah, there are different groups that have different dormant cycles. Some are 7 years, some are 10 years, and some are 17 years.
Either way, they're going to be very loud here in about a month or so, and they are annoying.
Yep.
Just like
You know
me.
what the Kentucky Atheist was talking about? They were having all the recipes for people to cook them up and everything. we were talking about it's like, no thanks. I understand eating a food resource and everything, but not when I have a choice.
Bye, Patty.
Bye, Patty. I'll
Bye,
try
Patty.
Friday. I'm sorry again.
Yeah, I would have some trouble eating bugs, but then at the same time, it's like, do you have trouble eating shrimp?
No.
Yes, actually.
Shrimp and lobster are basically just big bugs.
Tasty bugs.
But that's mostly because the last time I ate shrimp, I was recovering from a kidney stone.
Yeah, but so.
But they're not bugs. They're crustaceans.
Why are sea bugs good and land bugs aren't?
Depends on how you prepare them.
They're not bugs. They're crustaceans.
Isopods you pull up from the bottom of the ocean are a delicacy. Isopods you find in your garden are, ick things.
I don't know. I mean, crayfish don't sound very good to me, but people eat them too.
Crayfish are miniature lobsters.
There was a point where serving a prisoner lobster too many times was considered cruel and unusual punishment.
Yes, in Maine they had a law that they could not serve the prisoners lobster more than 3 times a week.
Yeah, and I know it's like a lot of indentured servants would have like limitations on serving them lobster put into their contracts.
Now, if you want to mix species, scorpions are insects.
And
People always think that there's something other than insects, but they are insects.
Aren't crayfish like freshwater lobsters?
Did I say crayfish? I meant scorpions.
You said scorpions.
Aren't scorpions a kind of arachnid?
Scorpions are decapods, so scorpions are also related to lobsters.
Land lobsters.
Yep.
I found I'm related to a capybara.
Yeah, lobsters and scorpions evolved from the sea scorpions from hundreds of millions of years ago.
There is already a little pet you can have that's related to the capybara fairly closely.
Like, what would that be?
A guinea pig.
Oh, you mean capybaras could taste that good?
I mean, there is a festival in Peru that celebrates the tastiness of the capybara and the guinea pig. I have never eaten either one to find out that they are tasty, so I'll have to take their word for it.
For you guys out in the chat who are getting all creeped out by this, if you go to Google and you type in please, Dave, I'm talking. And you look up fried guinea pig and look at images. You will see the various ways of preparing them, all of which include their heads and little hands.
Well, that is why they were called guinea pigs, because they were commonly eaten as food.
Andrew Zimmern, the strange food guy, he was Mexico or South America or somewhere. Yeah, and they've got big pens of them, and basically pick one out, and they do the thing and cook it up for you.
Yeah, they in Peru they farmed them for food for tens of thousands of years.
It's only strange to us. I mean, they're common animals there.
Yeah.
mean, I wouldn't want to eat them because I think guinea pigs are cute, and I don't know. I've always wanted to keep a capybara as a pet, but they're wild animals.
Aren't they cool?
Well, yeah, they're just big rodents.
Big old mouse.
I think most of the other rodents are actually somewhat smarter, but
Stool, why do I want to stay in your bunker?
Shut up! I'm doing the German because Poip said I had to say it in German. Apparently, unless I said in German, then you guys don't appreciate my Hitler humor. So I'm now learning German whilst we speak. I'm multitasking, you see.
So that we'll appreciate your Hitler humor. I mean, that's
you.
dedication to the bit.
It is. I'm fucking dedicated to this. Challenge accepted.
hey, if there's
You're gonna do
one
the
thing
little
I hate about,
mustache. You're gonna do the little mustache there too.
if there's one thing I hate about America,
Uber alles.
there's one thing I hate about the American fascists who scream fake news. It's like, learn your original language, learn your native tongue. The word you're searching for is Lugenpresse.
Bugenpresse?
Yes, it means lying press.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it meant how you wiped out what you picked out of your nose.
Oh.
Okay, looking at this, capybara meat apparently tastes like a combination of salty pork and
We
fish,
don't need
especially
to know.
sardines.
We don't need to know.
Well, that would make sense.
You mean they eat
because
capybaras?
it's in the it's in the
Aw.
water.
Yeah.
a lot.
Some people do eat
In
capybara.
South America, they do.
Capybaras are really tough creatures. They're a water creature. They live
Yep.
in water a lot of the times and all that kinds. I saw this video that was just blew me away. There was this herd of capybaras. It looked like there were 10, 15, 20 of them. And they walk up to the edge of this cliff that looked, judging by the capybara size, they looked like it may have been 30 or 40 feet up from the water. And one at a time, they dive in. It was just like, holy fuck! Those things are
It seems
braver than most humans.
seems with humans, unless we get immediately sick or die from it, it will eat it.
Well, capybaras are the ultimate chill animal. It's like once they're fully grown, they know they have, virtually no predators, and they swim around with the crocodiles and whatever, and they just don't care.
Would it be Cayman in South and Central America where they're found? It's like Cayman. Never sure how that word's pronounced.
Still, what sort of hund are you talking about?
Listen, Jenny, you've unleashed the beast here. Seriously, I was cancelled for an hour. I had no voice. The world was not listening to me, and now I've discovered Hitler. I feel free.
Your microphone also works now.
Ich würde eine fröhliche Frisur haben und meinen Hund streicheln, während ich warte.
Gesundheit.
Slothgirlslowly. That would be Cybertruck in German, wouldn't it?
Hayes.
2025 and I'm doing Hitler jokes. What the fuck is this world?
Stool is basically saying that he's got a great haircut and he likes to do things with his dog.
Kind of, yeah. But now do it with a German accent and it's funny.
Wait a minute.
Und Stool says that.
The only native
I thought it
tongue
was
I
Matt
know
Pig's
is
dog.
the only native tongue I know from Scottish is there's a moose in the hoose, let it oot.
Ich bleibe in meinem Bunker.
That was my Scottish lesson.
That's Canadian.
There's a moose loose about this house.
Nein sprechen Sie Deutsch.
Ich spreche nicht sehr gut Deutsch.
Ist das not der Schiebenwischer?
well-
Ja, das ist der Schiebenwischer. Ist das not der Schiebenwasser? Ja, das ist der Schiebenwasser.
The extent of my
Animaniacs.
foreign language skills is I can say I don't understand you in 7 languages, and in every case I will butcher the grammar so badly it will drive home the point.
I remember there's a line in a Terry Pratchett book where they say, Rincewick can scream for help in 7 languages and just scream in 27.
I know mi hombre es David.
Uh,
Drop me off in South America or wherever. I can tell him what my name is.
But you can also do Miyama David and
Mi
save
hombre
yourself
David.
some time.
Hombre David.
Or call me David, or my
About
name is
it.
David is also correct. But
That was about it.
Oh well, we just got a warning. In 15 minutes, we're going to have heavy rain.
Ooh, scary.
are you
I
going
wonder-
to get the big spiral storm?
I wonder how they weigh it. Here, I'll try that one again. I wonder how they weigh it.
Like this. I'm demonstrating now.
Indeed, you are.
And you catch it, multiply it by 37, and that's your answer in kilograms.
I am pretty sure
That
that there is
2.2
a way
pounds.
to measure the weight of rainfall.
Don't
And
dismiss
usually
my
they-
science.
Usually they measure by inches.
Yes, inches, not centimeters, inches.
But they said
Actually-
it was going to be heavy rain. Now that either means that it weighs a lot or that they use it in nuclear weapons.
We do it in millimeters, just saying.
Well, that's because you don't get any significant amount then.
Stool. 1 yard.
Did you
is
just say it doesn't rain in the UK? That's a really weird thing to say.
Well, you said you measure it in millimeters.
That's
Yeah,
why you
many,
buy
many
umbrellas.
millimeters.
Stool?
Yeah.
1,000 millimeters equals 39.37 inches.
Well,
Whoopie-doo.
well,
Congrats.
Stool, I live in Minnesota where we measure snow in feet.
Mm-hmm. I'm still not impressed. Sorry. You
I'm sorry.
you fuckers really need to do metric. It's pissing me off now.
Yeah, and when I was
And
in
you-
like 5th grade in the 70s, they told us we all had to learn metric because by 1980, the entire U.S. was going to be totally metric.
So
And some
Long
of us
live Jimmy
do-
Carter. Oh, he's dead, isn't he? Oh, yeah.
And some of us do use the metric system.
So
By
does that
choice.
Paul and
mean-
I were in the same class.
Does that mean England is going to come take us over now, remove our president, and like give us?
Oh,
like,
fuck no. No, we ain't going nowhere near your fucking
Aw.
country. No, fuck off.
Yep.
No.
No, if they had to come over, then we'd have to accept the turfs too, and that's
Of
just
all
not
the
going to
things
happen.
Ronald Reagan did, the one I will not forgive him for is destroying the U.S. plan to go metric.
Uh-huh.
The one that you won't forgive him for?
That's
we have
the one
a
that pisses
black
me-
stripe on our fucking flag because of that man.
Well, but not going metric is the one that pisses me off the most because it's the one I had to deal with every fucking single day of my life for 50 some years.
You know who the only person who liked Reagan and Thatcher was?
Games
Who?
Workshop because
Hitler.
they.
It was fucking Hitler.
Yep.
Hitler loved those two fuckers.
I mean, the entire 40K universe is like an entire take on British politics from the 80s.
I can do the conversions pretty well, but the one that always I have to look up is temperature. The temperature from Fahrenheit to Celsius, I can never do in my head for some reason.
Yeah, but
There's a
see,
very
for me,
easy peasy sum that you can do. I can't remember what it is, but you basically, Porpoise will probably remember.
Yeah.
I think the number is 37 or something, and you just do a subtraction, and it's even Americans can fucking
It's
do
either
it.
F minus 32 times 9/5 for Celsius, I believe, or
Yeah.
5/9 C plus 32 for Fahrenheit.
5/9. Oh my god, it's like living in medieval times with you
Yeah.
kids. It really is.
Fractions are like living in medieval times.
Yeah, before the decimal point was invented by Lord Decimal.
Which we invented, by the way.
no, the The decimal was invented by Dewey. Everyone who's used the library before 2000 knows this.
Yeah, he
Both
was
of
more
those
than
statements are wrong.
All right, folks, I gotta run. I got a bunch of shit to do.
Later.
I think
Okay,
it's
yeah.
important.
Thanks for coming in. Always
Aren't you-
good to hang out with you.
Aren't you too old to be running?
I'll plug a show.
With my legs fucked up at the yeah. I have to slowly shamble to do a bunch of things, but you know.
But
Okay.
See you
Shamble.
later, Ember.
Amber,
Catch
if
you
you want
later.
to be a trans girl, you've got to work on that meow. Meow. That was better.
I didn't meow before. What do you mean?
why is that necessary? I mean, I thought it was necessary to have like cat hair.
Oh,
I
meow,
have,
meow,
yeah,
meow,
I have
meow,
the
meow.
hat. I haven't worn it in a while, but I have it somewhere. My hats are more fabulous now. If your hats are more fabulous, cat ears,
Hey,
you fucking pass. That's all there is.
I am glad you took my suggestions on the hats, though.
Hell yeah. Oh, I wish I could get more hats. But
I've been experimenting with hats lately.
all right.
Well, it was just some. But I just want to point out something odd about the person who's been pushing for the metric system all the time. He's British, and the metric system was invented by the French.
No.
Yes, it was.
No.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
No, it depends on your interpretation of history.
Oh, if it's correct or not.
Both the metric
Yeah,
system.
No, this is the thing that you people don't get. Not only did we invent
You people?
everything,
Hold on.
You people?
we
Hold
also
on.
invented history.
So you're going to tell me that the British were responsible for the French Revolution?
If it will annoy people, then yes, I will say that. Yeah,
Okay.
because
If
I'm
the British-
channeling my inner Hitler. I'm gonna bomb the fuck out of you.
if the British invented the metric system, then why is the standard meter was originally defined as as 1,000th the distance between Paris and the North Pole?
Easy question. Very, very easy. So in 1963, we invented the North Pole. And what country did you mention? Paris. You said Paris. So we invented the North Pole and Paris and trains. There you go.
Stu,
History if you study your history, it's very easy. Basically, we win. We invented every fucking thing imaginable.
Stu, I left a little message for you in the
Yeah, I've
YouTube.
noticed, and I'm busy doing a reply, but I'm not going to share it because I'm going to get baninated today. I've done 3 Hitlers already. That's not good.
Yep.
Fun times, eh, children?
For what it's worth, when the U.S. was founded, several of the founding fathers, including Hamilton and Ben Franklin, were pushing for us to go metric straight off. But we sent an ambassador to France who was sent back with an official kilogram, but his ship was blown off course by a storm, attacked by pirates in the Caribbean, and no one knows whatever happened to the original kilogram.
Well, actually, what the truth is that it was introduced to the Continental Congress on 2 different occasions in our earliest years, and both were rejected because it was satanic and blasphemous.
Okay, but all that I just told you about the official kilogram, that is all historical fact. I didn't make any of that up.
But the Continental Congress only met before the French Revolution.
I think we should bring back the guillotine.
Guillotine.
A lot of Americans will be on your side on that one right now.
It's Stool, it's guillotine. It's a French word. You have to pronounce it that way.
Don't get see what Seriously, you're fucking pushing it today. You really are.
Well, I just, the French know what they're doing better, and I just thought I'd, help you out.
Yeah, don't do that. It never ends well. If you upset me, I'm British. If you upset me, I'll colonize you. Okay?
Oh, baby, come and colonize me.
Yeah. Turn around, bend over,
Well,
and let me colonize you.
That's pretty much what my last comment to you is about.
Again,
Was it? I didn't translate it.
It says, if I say it in German, will you fuck me?
No, my mind is now going to that wonderful movie, Purple and Jenny. You know where I'm going with this one. Come on, Mel Brooks.
Young
Crickets.
Frankenstein.
Seriously, you people are so bad.
I'm sorry, you got to give me more of a hint.
If you're thinking of Airplane, that wasn't Mel Brooks.
No. What the fuck are you talking about, Airplane? What the fuck?
The only thing I could go think of was like, surely you're not serious. It's like, I'm deadly serious and stop.
Are you all Brooks today?
Stool? Even
Yeah,
if I
there's
knew
not
the
enough
right
context.
answer, I'd give you a lame one just because it's more fun with you.
Airplane was done by the guys down the street from where I lived.
Oh, it was actually the anniversary of the release of Airplane. I think it was last week. A classic movie, obviously, but that is not the one that I was referring to. You're 2 clues. I'll give you 3 clues. Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
No. I'll give you 2 clues.
Springtime for Hitler.
There you go, my friend. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the song which I'm not allowed to sing on the YouTubes because
Springtime.
No, don't do it. No, seriously, don't do it. Springtime for him, and another song which is a theme tune from an American TV show. If I sing those, I get baninated. What the fuck? So never. I've got one. I'm a good boy. You all know this. I don't break the rules. I'm really fucking good. I love the Queen. God bless her soul. But for some reason, YouTube, I've got one bad mark on my YouTube record. They baninated me for singing a fucking song.
Let's see who directed that.
Which one? There were 2 versions of the producers.
The original.
Yeah.
Mel Brooks.
Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were. I'm sorry. I was imagining. I confuse this in my head all the time, and I can't explain why. But I was thinking of the funny thing happened to you on the way to the forum.
Yeah.
I always I confused that and Spring or the producers all the time. I'm sorry.
I think the original. The Producers is a classic film. It's fucking awesome. But the remake,
yes.
The remake was also pretty good as well, which is unusual that a remake is.
Was there a remake?
Relatively recently.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, the reboot of the movie. I think I don't know. I'm guessing 10 or 20 years ago. And it's got some very famous people in that you would know in this day and age. It's pretty good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a lot of times that's the only reason they do remakes.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Nathan Lane, Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
I think Will Ferrell was in it.
I don't think so.
Who else am I thinking?
Could have been, but I don't think so.
Oh gosh, I know Andrea Martin was in it. I remember that.
Dead air?
Well, no, we all left.
There's also the Producers musical, which was kind of obvious for them to go to.
I wonder if any high schools have done the Producers as a high school play.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, they've done Rocky Horror. I think it's.
I don't think they would be allowed to these days.
Yeah, I find it. I find it funny that some of the same high schools who a few years ago did Rocky Horror as a school play have parents objecting to them doing Disney performances.
Yeah.
I was going to say this year they did The Little Mermaid as like the musical.
Yep. Although Disney bought up the company that had the distribution rights to Rocky Horror Picture Show. So that technically makes Frankenfurter a Disney princess.
I don't think I don't think he is ever mentioned as a prince or a princess.
No, but there's a couple of them in the Disney princesses. Like the black girl, I can't remember her name. That
Tanya?
she has no ties to royalty.
Doesn't she end up marrying the king at the end?
Okay,
Yeah.
there have been several high schools that are easily listed in Google, anyways, who have done the producers as a high school play.
Cool. I would go see that.
Hermione was having trouble. What a sad story.
Yeah, I would pay money to see that.
Just in case anyone watches this later, the idea behind the producers is like a producer and accountant accidentally find out it's more profitable to make a movie or make a play that flops than one that runs successfully. So they set out to produce the most offensive musical possible, so it'll fail on the first night.
But it's a success.
But
I would think that would be doing Hair with the original cast.
But it's so bad, it's a success. Yeah, it's like, and the thing they decided to do is a musical called Springtime for Hitler, because they want people to walk out of the theater, but they choose like the worst actor, the worst everything they can think of. But it's so bad, people enjoy it.
Well,
Oh, God.
if they were
You have
actually
no-
trying to do that now and release Springtime for Hitler,
Oh my God, stop saying the magic words, please. If you keep saying the magic words,
Okay.
I'm going to fucking sing it, and then we'll all burn in hell forevermore.
like, Trump would pick up that musical,
But I want to
force
burn
them
in
to show
hell.
it at the Kennedy Center, and it would show to sold out houses of MAGA people.
Yeah, and they would think it was a documentary.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure the Kennedy Center is going to be turned into a monster truck venue to increase attendance.
Oh, isn't it just revolting that SOB has gotten involved with that? God, he's already destroyed the entire venue.
Yeah, well, he's already made sure that they can't show anything in there without his approval.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I personally love it. It's like first of all, he thinks Les Miserables is somehow a non-woke musical. It's like, dude, it's about oppression. The oppression of the poor. Oh, there's a significant part that's about overthrowing a tyrant.
Well, that's what was playing the time that he went there, and was called Felon and also by some woman in the audience.
Yeah. And do you hear the people saying it's specifically about overthrowing a dictator, a king?
Yep.
Okay, what is still generally accepted as being the worst editing job in history is when The Sound of Music played in communist China. They cut out all the songs because the movie's runtime was too long.
Are you kidding?
No.
Oh my God. Oh, that's insane.
It's not a very exciting movie. I'll give him that.
The Sound of Music.
You know, it's. I will still watch it every time I see it and have access to it.
The Sound of Music is a movie that is shown regularly, like at Christmas or whatever.
Yep.
That doesn't mean it's exciting.
Because it's cheap as fuck to show. It doesn't cost you any money to show that movie on the TV. But I like how you've led into this, because what features quite heavily in The Sound of Music?
Our current government of the United States?
Fascism?
Almost.
Nuns?
Oh, I like that answer, but no. I'm looking for something more, let's just say, I'm pointing up at the stars with my hand like this.
Let me see your hand.
Yeah, well,
yeah, that's what I was saying, referring to.
There's something really fucking fucked up with this world right now, and I'm intentionally not. I'm trying my best not to mention what is happening. You know what the orange person is doing. Yeah. There you go. Yeah,
Mate's got it.
His new temporary official name is the Orange Pustule.
Or you could just call him Taco. He loves that.
Taco is good too. Yes.
Orange Shitler.
I'm afraid, though, if they keep calling him tacos, it's going to completely destroy Tuesdays.
Oh, no. I think Taco Bell has missed out on a huge opportunity that they didn't make June 14th Free Taco Day.
You're exactly right. That would have been genius.
It's a real shame that the nacho flavored tacos are really good too.
I would like Taco Bell more if they offered, instead of all these flour burritos and stuff, that they use corn.
They should offer those at least as a choice on a lot of things.
Yeah, they're so much better when they actually have taste.
All right, so
isn't that that's the hard taco shells?
So are we all collecting our cola bottle caps now? Okay, I'm the only Fallout fan.
When I go to my favorite Mexican restaurant back home, they always have the option of wheat or corn burrito skins or whatever else you're having.
I
I always choose corn.
This is getting weird in American now, so I'm just going to zone out for 10 seconds while you talk about tacos and all that weird American
I'm sorry.
shit.
Every Friday when we go and have fish and chips, we
swing. Now I'm happy.
You mean fish and French fries, right?
Chips.
Yeah, French fries.
Oh, this is good. This is going to end badly.
I really don't want to invade because I'm in a bit of a Hitler mode at the moment. Don't want to invade you, okay?
And how would that be an improvement?
We're desperate to have anybody invade us right now.
Porp, you don't know the actual translation of that. Now I forgot what you said, and I can't bring it back. I'm sorry. It was good. It was a good joke.
It probably wasn't.
Fish and chips. Yeah. The English have fish and chips, but you see, fish is also a foreign word comparatively to American. In America, fish is, they swim in the ocean and stuff, and in Britain they're actually like small dog. Fish means small dog.
The fuck you talking about, you crazy fucking...
Go ahead, you can say it.
No, I'm not going to... I know what you're doing. You're trying to get me baninated. I'm not going to invade you. You're provoking me.
Yes, I am.
I thought that chips replaced all the tiny fish, that we went from microfish to microchips.
May I say a joke that's apparently circulated in Germany?
I don't understand where you went from chips to...
Are you special, Jenny?
It's called a stream of consciousness, and something crazy.
Jenny is very
How did you go from chips to small dogs?
Free association. That's what it is. Yeah, free association.
Okay, so I have no idea.
All right, what borders on stupidity?
Me.
Texas.
Mar-a-Lago.
Mexico and Canada.
Texas is the goal. Texas is the goal.
I need to have a piss.
Well, since I haven't been able to get Canada to annex Minnesota, I need some more people from my alternate plan that we're just going to go out there at 3 o'clock in the morning and move the border 300 miles south.
I think I'm going to put that out as a poll on Twitter. Should Canada take Minnesota as their 11th province?
They've got this whole line of these, little concrete monuments to mark the border. So if we moved all of those to the southern edge of Minnesota, what can they do about it?
We used to have one of those in my actually in the alley where we used to live. So we dug it up and moved it like 100 yards. Well, I knew there was a joke in there somewhere, but I guess it failed.
My unfinished journey says they're called tortillas.
Oh, taco skins? Okay, fine. Tortilla works. But I like taco skin.
Yeah, okay. I can believe that this is the reason that Canada won't do it, is because it will put them on the border of Iowa.
So you call it corn on the cob. I call it Pre-processed toilet paper. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought you liked the raw corn cobs because they're, like ribbed for your pleasure.
Well,
Oh,
those are different.
oh my God. Are we all 12 today? What is
Yes.
happening?
I'm actually kind of on the edge of 13, but
Really?
Mm-hmm.
12 is when they were forcing me to learn the metric system.
This is one of the best streams ever.
And so big was the time. Sorry.
No, seriously. I know that I display this outward Hitler, but inside, I love people. And I'm laughing because this is 2 hours and 30 minutes. I wasn't here from the beginning and I was cancelled for the first hour because Purple broke my microphone.
That Purple.
But nobody is bitching about the orange, that fucking shit show that is happening.
The Orange Festival.
Yeah.
Well,
Giant Orange Festival.
This is something very interesting. Psychiatrists in the future world will watch this stream. I don't know whether it's because we've given up. Blech, who cares anymore? He bombed fucking, all that shit.
Yeah.
What is it? I don't know. I find it fascinating, though.
He felt the need to spend several million of our dollars to slow down Iran's nuclear efforts by a couple of months.
And possibly start a war.
Yeah.
What the most ironic problem with that was? That our bunker buster bomb didn't work because the bunkers were designed by American Army engineers.
No, I thought you were going to say Hitler.
No. American Army engineers in the 70s were the ones who gave them the blueprints to build those bunkers.
Oh, I feel a promo is coming on. Should we do a promo? I'll do it. I'll do the promo. Sexy voice. When I'm building a bunker, I go to Hitler's arrows. There you go. Finished.
I don't get it.
Stool just likes it because this is the only channel where we're insane enough for him to be a straight man half the time.
What do you mean half the time? What are you inferring?
Listen, if you're ever where I live, come to the open mic Friday nights, and you can join me and be funnier.
Funnier? Okay, this is really you people are singling me out.
See, there's more of that you people stuff.
No.
Yes, you Americans. You're trying to cancel me.
Stool, we'd like to have you in here because you know how lonely Mage gets being the only straight person in my stream every week.
Wait a minute. You're implying that Stool is straight.
That was a very long silence, okay?
Yeah, it was. I thought it was better than that, but
I hate you fuckers.
No, I just didn't have a good reply to that one.
Okay, I'm now making a list of enemies.
Sorry, I have no idea what your sexual orientation is, nor do I care.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll second that. Unless you're trying to date me, I don't really care what your orientation is.
I know it's very wrong to make a list of your enemies and then to kill them. But Mage, you're safe, don't worry. Jenny, you're top of the list. Pipes, you're second. And Pipes, you're third. So when I invade and when I invade your what do you call it? Country, I guess. When I invade your country and bring you knowledge and language and a politeness and the metric system, I'm going to build a camp. I'm going to call it Mein Camp. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm so Hitler today. No fucking idea.
Would that be with a C or a K?
Maybe a K. Don't know.
And at the end, is it an E or an F?
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Well, that would be Mein Camp.
Hey, but
I don't think no camp is a German word that way.
Hilarious.
You said when you declare your new country that I could be in charge of all the above ground tunnels.
Oh yes, this is true. Yeah. Oh no, but I've had a no.
Why would you want to be in
That was in
charge
the
of
olden
those?
days. That was in the olden days, perhaps. Now, usually I'm a big fan of tunnels. I think tunnels are quite important.
What
But
kind
I've
of tunnel?
changed my mind recently. I'm not really into tunnels anymore.
Oh, you're gay?
Yeah, but these
How
were
do you
gonna be a-
fucking get off from tunnels today?
That one I can understand.
What's wrong with you?
That one I had no problem getting.
The fuck?
It's going to be at least a year until I can get my tunnel installed.
Well, technically, if
Oh
he's a
no! Stop it! Stop
technically,
it!
if he's a top, wouldn't he still be into tunnels?
What's that?
Technically, if he's a top, wouldn't he still be into tunnels?
You're all really bad people. I want you to know
Thank you.
this.
Listen,
That's what-
I'm asexual. My sex jokes are never going to be good.
That's why this show is rated so highly on YouTube.
Oh, I can fix that.
Springtime.
Yes, exactly.
Still,
Germany
Clearly it
was
doesn't
having
need to
trouble
be
with
fixed.
That's the-
I've been doing this for 7 years and I still haven't gotten to 1,000 subscribers.
Needed a new leader to restore its former glory.
Mhm.
I also
See, and
believe,
nothing happened. Did the ban hammer just fall down? No,
I
because
also
Poi
believe,
Pois did it. If I do it,
well, that's because I didn't get to any of the controversial, really controversial parts of that song.
okay. Which do you think are controversial in that particular song?
First
In
of
your
all,
opinion? I mean, we've all got different tastes in music, and it's a bit of a jaunty song. I like the music, but with regard to the lyrics, controversies. Do you think there are controversies in that song?
Don't be stupid, be a smarty.
No, yeah, well done. That is a fucking classic line.
I mean, the only reason Mel Brooks got away with that is because he was Jewish. So,
Yeah,
and
there you
thank
go.
goodness he did.
But was Judy Geeson in the movie?
I have no idea.
Spaceballs 2 is going to be out
Yeah,
within
and
our
apart-
lifetimes.
Yeah, I wonder if I'll hate that as much as I did the first one.
The first
know,
one's a
it's-
classic.
It was
I-
kind of fun.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all. I'm sorry. I know
So
many did,
long.
and that's fine, but not me.
and
It
so
wasn't-
Lone Star. Sorry,
It
go
wasn't. It wasn't a brilliant movie. It wasn't Airplane, but yeah, it was okay.
ahead. And so Lone Star. Now you see, evil will always overcome good because good is dumb.
Have any of you seen the Mel Brooks film, It's a Mad, 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 Mad World?
Probably once or twice, but I don't. It's been a long time.
Yeah, same.
I've also seen the Mel Brooks film Silent Movie, where the only person who has a speaking part is Marceau Mosseau.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was brilliant.
that's genius.
My
Right.
favorite Mel Brooks is Young Frankenstein, and
Yeah.
I can never be moved from that. I really like it.
I could agree that that's probably his best one. Well, that or Blazing Saddles.
Well,
Mhm.
I think a lot of people are like, you couldn't make Blazing Saddles today. Yes, you could. The whole point is it's making fun of racists.
And Madeline Kahn is the only person surviving from that movie. It's sad.
But
Yeah, we'll just splice the other Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles, and Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory. It's,
Well,
it's
that'd be-
gene splicing,
That'd be a fun mashup. You bet.
Oh,
and the results are wilder.
Was
Yeah,
Gene
that
Wilder
was
in
terrible.
Blazing Saddles?
yes, he was.
Oh, okay.
okay. Mage definitely gets at least 3 sloths for that.
He was in a lot of Mel Brooks or early Mel Brooks movies.
Who? Say again. I missed.
Gene Wilder.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was in Frankenstein, wasn't
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Just
Blazing
another guy from my hometown.
Saddles. He's also in The Producers.
Mm-hmm.
he? Another fine actor.
And Silver Streak, which was not a very good movie, but it had Jill
Yeah, we've
Clayburgh in
kind
it,
of
and she was
forgotten
pretty
about
hot.
that one.
I seem to remember it wasn't a Mel Brooks movie, but I seem to remember it was an 80s comedy called See No Evil, Hear No Evil. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but Eddie Murphy and Gene Wilder were in it. Hold on,
Rings a bell.
Double check that one because I may have
It rings a bell. I think it had Eddie Murphy in it,
but I may be wrong about Gene Wilder.
I like the couple of films that Gene Wilder did with Richard Pryor.
Eddie Murphy was not in it. Richard Pryor was, but Gene Wilder definitely was.
I know, but Gene Wilder was in movies with Richard Pryor also.
Yeah, I'm saying Eddie Murphy was not in this movie. Richard Pryor was.
Oh! I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Because it's about a blind person and a deaf person who have to solve a crime. Wow, that was much later than I thought. 1989. Wow.
I wonder if you could make capybaras into like burgers.
Yes, I'm sure you. Go find this out on your own. Get some capybara meat and find out for us.
I should. I bet you can buy capybara meat online.
Fishy, salty.
Let's find out.
Fishy, salty meat.
That is your homework. To try capybara meat.
Well, it's really just a large rodent, Jenny. So if you can't find capybara meat, you should be able to substitute several good-sized rats.
Or a squirrel.
Rats aren't so bad.
Rat burger?
Mm-hmm.
Demolition Man?
Rat burgers, no.
No, in college
they
were
on
cheap.
A stick franchise.
I was the rat tender at UWM in their psychology department, and they were like free food.
That's what they had in Demolition Man. They went down into the underground area and they had a rat burger.
Okay, the exotic meat market. Let's see here. Let's see, camel.
Okay.
So
guinea pig, $49.95
I
for one dressed pig.
Yeah.
I have had kangaroo jerky.
we are
Okay, that sounds like a porn movie, to be honest.
Also, I've had gator jerky.
Rattlesnake sausage.
Yeah,
I know.
Okay.
I know you can get alligator meat in a lot of places now.
Muskrat meat.
Gator jerky actually is pretty good.
I mean, I don't like musk, but I think muskrat meat is a little extreme.
Oh, guinea fowl. Alligator tenderloin, $29.99 a pound.
But that's pretty good.
Alpaca shoulder roast.
So how late do you plan on going tonight?
Well, I have to
Why
at least
do
get through the
people
menu
keep
here.
thinking I have a plan?
Because you are, like it or not, the leader of this group. And if
It
you
doesn't mean I have a plan. I'm just here hanging around, seeing where the conversation wanders off the tracks.
No, but it means it's all your fault.
As a person from the not America, I'm going to tell you how this works. We gave up a long time ago. So whatever you say, we just go along with and then laugh later.
So I'm going to. I mean, yeah, you're Canadian. I didn't know you're Canadian.
I'm not Canadian. Where is this going?
You said you were not from the not America. That's Canada.
Okay,
She's got a point.
Maybe this is it. No.
Oh, I'm struggling now. I'm going to swap Jenny and Porpoise on my list. Porpoise is going up one slot. This is when I invade. Okay, I'm making a list. I'm making a list.
Think that Porpoise is wanting to go have dinner is the point here.
So what you're saying is, if I keep working hard at it, I can be number one.
I don't think
Then
you
you
could
got
ever.
to start running your own streams and doing this.
No, on his list.
Yes.
No, that's what I mean. That if you're going to be number one, you've got to be in charge of the stream.
Okay, just for the benefit of the future people who might be watching this, hello, we are all going to die. I'm glad you found this little time capsule. Just for the record, I do not have a list. I don't have an actual list, and I actually don't like Hitler. Yeah, context. Yeah, okay.
I do have a secret list of people who I consider it would be a public service to remove them from society.
That's just a polite version of my list.
There's a difference between having a better dead list and having a... We're going to call them a conscription list because that's what the Romans called them.
Yeah, well, you know me. I can only have the list because I never get around to doing any of my projects.
Well, I wouldn't call that sorted list a project. I think we all have those.
This is why oh God, I'm going to do a hit. Maybe it's the weather. I don't know. I don't know why I'm obsessed with Hitler right now. Okay, future people, I'm not obsessed with Hitler. Really not.
Okay, I found a possible source here. It's called the Exotic Meat Market.
No.
And here's a part or list of, I'll only read part of it, a list of what they offer. Alligator meat, antelope meat, armadillo meat, axis deer meat, Samani chicken meat, beaver meat, bison meat,
Right.
bluefoot chicken, bobcat, boar goat, bone marrow, brain burgers, caiman meat, capon meat, coyote, dove, duck,
Back
eel,
up.
eggs, eland, elk, emu,
Back,
endangered species. Oy.
wait, back way up.
What to
Axis deer meat. How do you know a deer's political affiliation?
I'm only reading what it says. I assume it's true. Guinea fowl, guinea pig whole, guinea pig for food, koi, koi. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly in Spanish. C-U-Y.
My brother has been trying to get me to go hunting with him all my life. If you're telling me that there are deer out there wearing swastikas, I might just take this up.
Nutria meat. That's kind of like a capybara, but you know.
They switched them out for red hats nowadays.
But no capybara meat. That's really disappointing.
Yeah,
everything else on there
might be considered an endangered species.
Yeah, I mean they got stuff like wild pigeon, woodcock, zebra, giraffe, flamingo.
Woodcock, is that because a guy had an artificial or accidental amputation?
Take two. Take two.
Artificial.
George Washington.
Capybaras are not endangered.
Yeah, pretty sure they're.
George Washington had a wooden penis.
Don't think that's true.
Okay, here we go. Capybara meat is a high-protein delicacy in South America, facing legal restrictions that sustainability concerns due to illegal poaching and environmental impacts.
Okay, so they're not endangered, but it did mention there's some concern that they're not sustainable because of poaching.
Yeah, but it doesn't talk about price. Oh, what? Cost
$39.99.
You found a $39.99?
$49.99. Yep.
A pound or the whole damn thing?
I don't know if it's per pound or what.
It's probably per pound if they're talking meat.
Oh, they're so cute. Of course we want to eat them. They're cute. Cultural acceptance of eating exotic meats.
Okay.
It's only a paragraph, so.
I don't want to continue this conversation.
60 ounces at $39.99.
That's too expensive.
Here's a really bad joke.
What?
Why was the Agenders computer engineering students project revolutionary?
Oh, I heard this one just the other night.
It was non-binary.
Boom.
I didn't say it. I said it was terrible.
No, actually, I think that's pretty good.
Well, there was this woman who was making clams for her kids. Wasn't very good personality though. She was real mother or shucker.
I don't get that one, but
why did Jesus lose the ability to walk on water? Because his feet had holes in them. That was British Jesus, by the way. That's
okay, and
ours was better.
And this is what it looks like when you shave a capybara.
That looks like a relatively small capybara.
Well, I've heard of things when they're shaved, they look a lot different. I can
they always
attest to that
personally,
personally, actually.
Yeah, but I think even an adult shaved capybara would be bigger than that. I almost thought it was a hippo, but hippos have different
That is, it's the pygmy hippo that was born.
Now I'm still waiting for.
I have been saving that joke for just over a year because I could never find a way to wedge it into a conversation until now.
Well, I don't know why Jenny's now obsessed with eating capybara, but...
Oh, I'm not. I'd like to have a capybara as a pet, but if things get tough.
No, I will not eat my pets. I'll eat my neighbors. I don't eat friends.
I'm sure your neighbors are happy to hear that.
Okay.
Half of my neighbors could be outsmarted by a cow, so I'm not too worried about it.
Okay, since you guys won't put any of my little JPEGs that I memes and stuff I stole and for today's show, I'll read them to you. Here's one of my favorites. Trump's ceasefire will be known as Operation Stormy because it only lasted 2 minutes. Dear Christian conservatives, there's a picture of the king here. Dear Christians conservatives, King James I of England was gay. You can thank a homosexual for your Bible.
I actually thought that they had pretty much verified he was bi.
Now, earlier, I wanted you to post that one, and everybody ignored me because somebody made the comment about the Chef Boyardee factory near them.
It wasn't. It was in my home. It's still in my hometown.
Okay, well, that's why I wanted
that doesn't
this
mean
one.
It's near me. I don't live in my hometown anymore.
That's why I wanted this one to be shown because it's a sticker on the back of a car that says, "I'm no chef, but Boyardee's titties sweaty today."
Yeah, it wasn't.
Mom, I'm gay. Thank fuck for that. I thought you were going to say you were Christian.
Yep.
A dog, science fact, a dog gets more factual information.
Okay, May just pulling it up.
A dog gets more factual information from sniffing another dog's butt than a human does from watching Fox.
Yep.
Speaking of things that want me to sniff their butt on more frequently than they should, where are you, Athena?
Okay. Well, we have been going nearly 3 hours here, so let's go around, do a wrap up here. At least we can go out on some good laughs. Well, on some laughs anyway. Well, you know what I mean. The spirit is there anyway.
I don't have anything more funny to say. I'm just not funny. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't just mean you. Okay, so Porpoise. What have you got coming out this week?
Hopefully I'll get to Hopefully I will get to the Friday streams I do on YouTube this time. Last week was just, I was exhausted. I forgot why, but right, because it was a busy day for things that haven't turned out very well at all, but that doesn't need to go into this. So I want everyone to pet their cat and be excellent to each other. I'm sorry, go ahead.
A cat or a pussy?
Whichever you prefer.
Well, I only have one. Pick.
Well, if you only have one, you shouldn't be confused about the question.
You can subscribe to me on the Mad Computer Scientist channel. Depending on how things go here, I may come back to my original YouTube channel, but that's going to depend on whether I have the job I think I'm going to have next year or not. And
I hope you do.
I hope so too, but red state, Trump.
Yeah.
They might not have hired me back for the same job anyway, but be excellent to each other, and so long, and thanks for all the fish.
Oh no, that's a seal. I'm sorry.
That's pretty good.
Thanks. I've been practicing that since Flipper.
So, Stool, do you have any final thoughts on any of the subjects we've covered?
Oh God, I've got many thoughts. Many of them involve Hitler, but okay. I'm going to steal Porpoise's. Some of Porpoise's. That's a difficult word. Some of Porpoise's final thoughts. Be excellent to each other. And for the future people, hello, future people, I don't like Hitler. I really don't. Bad things are happening right now in 2025. We're probably all going to die. So take heed of what Papa said. Be excellent to each other. That's my final thought. And I didn't even throw pies at people. Jerry Springer. Stu's final thought.
Okay, Jenny.
I'm not ready yet.
Okay, Mage.
All right, I got my show on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and still trying to get my special guest on. Hopefully, they'll be able to show up. They had to cancel at the last minute last week. Unfortunately, I had to go with my backup plans. And for Thursday midnight showing, we'll be watching Being There. Being where? I guess you'll have to come find out.
Oh, people, you really must see this film. It's one of the best films ever made. The main star of it is Peter Sellers. It was one of his very last films. Actually, a lot of people consider it his last film, even though it wasn't. But it was the actual last film he was in was just gigantic trash, and so people rather think about this one, which is very good. And it's really Shirley MacLaine's in it, and Peter Sellers, and you gotta see this film sometime, folks. So come on tomorrow night, 11 o'clock Central Time. We can give you the link. You can come on in for free.
And that's basically all I have right now.
Well, according to the Google machine and Wikipedia, Peter Sellers, well, okay,
he's dead.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, spoiler.
Well, Google got it wrong. Google said Being There was his last movie. Wikipedia said Peter Sellers' final movie was The Fiendish Plot of Dr. Fu Manchu. So,
I use IMDb, Internet Movie Databases. They're far more accurate than any of them.
yeah,
Usually.
Yeah, for movies they generally are.
There are errors on IMDb though.
Oh yeah, indeed. It's human, so it's got to have errors. That's what we do.
Yes, it's Fu Man in the Fiendish Plot of Fu Manchu thing with from 1980.
I think one of the greatest things. I think one of the greatest things we've done with AI and getting it close to our actual goal is we now have spent billions of dollars to get a program to confidently tell us why we're wrong when we say 2 + 2 = 4.
Well, the Terrence Howard machine.
I think even he says 2 + 2 = 4. It's his one gets his multiplications screwed up.
Oh, okay. 2 × 2 is 7, right? Or 3? I forget.
Well,
okay. I can say my thing now.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
You sure? Labor is prior to and independent of capital. Capital is only the fruit of labor and could never have existed if labor had not existed first. Labor is the superior of capital and deserves much the higher consideration. Abraham Lincoln.
Yep.
Did Abraham Lincoln have a wooden penis?
No, actually, his was a log from his cabin. So it was technically wood, but it was much bigger than like Trump's.
So it's big. So historically, Abraham Lincoln had a bigger penis than George Washington.
Well, look how tall he was.
Oh, and
the size
the hat.
of his feet.
Yeah.
No, Lincoln himself was over 6 foot.
Yeah.
This is it, kids. When you look into history, it's fascinating because you'll learn about people's wooden penises.
And
go to school, kids. Go to school.
And a description of Abraham Lincoln says his voice was kind of squeaky.
Oh.
Now that's something it's hard to imagine.
So are you
with little voice like this?
I think you're thinking what I'm thinking.
Probably not.
No, definitely not. No, I don't know why I said that. I've never said that phrase before in my life, and I'm never going to say it again. No.
Oh, and R.I.P. Bobby Sherman. Y'all remember Bobby Sherman, or am I the only one old enough?
Give me a clue. I'm British.
Pop singer, 60s, bubblegum rock.
No idea.
Major heartthrob. He was so cute.
No idea.
Lacked a lot of talent. He was a successful pop singer, and he did various movie and television bits. He had a good career going, and you know what he did? He gave it all up to become a paramedic.
In 1939 in Dusseldorf.
No, it was the 1970s in Hollywood.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
similar, but a little different.
That's what they want you to think.
wait a minute. Who was his partner? Because without his partner, he's only a single medic, not a paramedic.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, God.
His partner was Hot Lips Houlihan.
Oh, she died as well, didn't she?
Yeah, they went together.
Yeah, fairly recently.
They put him in a little pose and put him in the same box. It's kind of cute.
Did you get to watch? Oh,
The
do you
movie
think
actor or
so?
the show actor?
Anyway, we were doing wrap up here. So with that, I will bid you all a good afternoon. And of course, we need to thank the people who are supporting us, sending me a few bucks each month on Patreon. Kitty the Atheist, Robert X, Greg Hartwick, Sandy Shore, Skitzcrasher, A Very Stable Milking Stool, Regios, and Junie.
Well, that's bullshit.
And?
Well, that's what Patreon told me, so.
What?
Is that where all my money's going?
Yes. Now you know where your money's been going.
That's what Patreon told me.
Wait a minute. I'm not sending you money anymore?
Yeah, yes, you are, but you're under Sandy Shore.
Oh, I always forget that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm scared now. This is why I'm poor.
You didn't realize Patreon was taking $1 a month from you and giving it to me?
I haven't got $1 a month. What the fuck is happening?
She was kind of hot. I enjoyed being under her.
Okay, somebody is impersonating school and giving me money in his name.
Okay, I like that person. In theory, I like this person. I'd love to meet them and shake their hand.
That's hilarious.
It's very funny.
That is hilarious, and I'd love to find out who's doing that.
I've got a fucking impersonator who's very shit at their job.
We've got a troll impersonating stool.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Okay, well, goodbye, all.
Be trans, do crime.